I know that this is you mentioned a heavy piece of equipment that he's hauling there behind him, but it seems like aware of that, right? With the turns and abiding by the stop signs and the signals so far.
Roxy, that's the same thing we're seeing, and I could not agree more. Next time we have a position where we can get Scott Fox to look at that driver, a lot of times we'll just kind of look in and we'll see that driver, and I get this feeling that he is really stressed out right now. It's like it's like one of these. He made a bad decision, and now he's trying to figure out how to get out of it. That's the way it seems.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? A rip-a-ting-ting and a rip-a-ting-tong. Yo, what's up, man? Good morning. Shout out to Sonia for texting me and telling me, because I didn't see one goddamn notification on Twitter. So shout out. Konas mom texted me after too. Thank you, Konas. A rip-a-ting-ting and a rip-a-ting-tong.
In with you as we continue to follow this slow-moving pursuit, I guess you could call it. Thank you. In the meantime, good morning. If you're joining us, it is 7:30 on this Wednesday morning. I'm in for Melvin.
Yes,
Melvin.
yes, you are,
Yes,
and
you
welcome
are.
aboard.
Let me get another feed.
For some weather.
Yeah, and I'm filling in for Maria. Good morning, Jen.
Oh,
Jen
hell
is
no.
Jen.
Hell no. Did they really cut it out like that? What the heck? I got so excited. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. They gotta be in something else, right? Let me check the website. Check no. Oh no. Did I really come live and they cut it? Oh, well, we're just gonna let it go. We'll check later. What? Oh man, that sucks. Oh wait, I got it. Oh, I got it. Fuck him.
To try to get out of the way. He doesn't seem to be calm at all. We had a pursuit recently where the driver just appeared to be very calm, but you can see he's
yeah, we're just gonna cut it off.
Talking.
Yeah, he looks
using his
agitated.
hand. He looks very agitated there.
Yes,
What
I
is
like
your
it.
impression when you see that? As
That
a
boy
law
drive like
enforcement
that. He like-
official?
Well, he could be under the influence. He could be what we call EDP
You
emotion.
kind of look at it like because his head was just like, I don't know how he's even keeping that shit straight.
A lot of suspects will try to get back to an area that they know, and then they're going to bail on foot so they can get to, either, back to their own residence or somebody that they know.
Share.
So he may be just circling around trying to get back to his own area that he's familiar with.
This is, we were able to find out some information on the company where this vehicle was stolen. It's called Atomic Concrete Pumping.
Yeah, it's right there on the side.
Looking at their Instagram page, there is a vehicle very similar to this that they are advertising on their page for their business, where apparently they do big rock and pea gravel concrete pumps. They're based here in Los Angeles. There is some offices in the San Fernando Valley. So not sure exactly why he would steal this particular vehicle. Oh, yeah, now.
Sorry to interrupt you, but this is a really dangerous situation. Another car, another driver yelling at this person. This is not what you want to see, right? Some sort of road rage or someone else aggravating him even more and potentially not knowing how dangerous he actually is.
What is he doing? Oh, he's trying to talk him out of it?
Well, yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think she has good intention.
It's a woman?
But she doesn't understand that she's kind of hazarding herself. I think she's trying to reason with him.
Mama's love. Mama trying to stop him.
He's probably not going to listen to her.
You think she's reasoning with it? She appeared very animated as well, yelling at him. Maybe it appears that it's the same vehicle that witnessed that other car get flipped around.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's kind of upset, and obviously she's seen something that has upset her, and she's yelling at him.
This is absurd.
Seems entirely reasonable. The problem is you don't know what the suspect's motivation is. If he's armed, who knows? So for a civilian to get involved in that manner, probably not a good idea. Just let the police handle it.
Wow. It's interesting to me that he's responding. He's using some hand gestures and seems to be chatting with her. Now, again, on the move.
She's blocking him.
She's following, keeping up with him. Maybe doesn't realize that the police are also in pursuit of him as well, not keeping up with him.
My own personal observation, he seemed a little less agitated when he was talking with her. Yeah. So I'm wondering, is it possible
They know each other?
They know each other? Is this just a witness to something else? Wow. Did he cut her off or something? And she's,
Oh, no.
Well, she stopped at the stoplight now. He's now continuing through that intersection. Now
Mama's
going 50,
love, bro.
As much as 50 miles per hour on these surface streets in a very large, very heavy vehicle. Down to 24, 25. We have that speed up right now for you in the right-hand corner of your screen. If you want to pay attention, of course, the location as well at the top of your screen, Sherman Way and Ossoff Avenue. And he's continuing on. We've seen him stop a few times.
Mama's love. What do you guys think she was doing? And Mama always got to be in control. I always got to tell you what to do and shit. You're a grown man. If I want to steal this shit, let me steal this shit. Damn.
Being very fidgety and somewhat agitated, it looked like, when he stopped a second time, picking up what looks like to be a can of some type in the car, then asking to go.
Oh, shit.
Yelling at the person in front of him. Eventually,
he's lit. Oh, that boy lit. Oh, what? Will what?
The person appeared to put their
that was
car
earlier.
in reverse.
That was earlier.
He now twists that around. Since then, that vehicle on the left.
That was the car that was
the car. So she must have witnessed what took place there, then caught up to him, and then tries to have a conversation with him. We don't see her anymore on the left-hand side of your screen, where he is still going between 25 and 50 miles per hour on these surface streets.
If you're just joining us, this is an LAPD pursuit that started in Chatsworth. It went through Northridge. You can now see he's at Sherman Way and DeSoto Avenue going about 31 miles an hour. This is a stolen vehicle. It appears that he's the only person in the vehicle, but it is a very heavy vehicle with something attached to it, some sort of machinery or cement mixer attached to the back of it. It's a dangerous situation. He also, we actually saw a hit and run, and even before we started following this pursuit from SkyCal, he
there's another he's chasing him.
Run. So we know he's committed
is he chasing him?
3 crimes so far. Now we're seeing someone else trying to talk to him.
Crazy.
This is pretty remarkable that all these people are engaging in this pursuit. We know that there are a lot of law enforcement officers behind him, LAPD officers following behind and just tracking, taking their time behind him now. But at least 2 people we've seen who are just out driving have been engaging with him.
Right. This is, he's on Sherman Way right now, too, which is usually somewhat congested in the San Fernando Valley this time of day, but obviously open enough. He's going up to between 30 and 50 miles per hour in some of these sections. Police still behind as we've been talking. There's a reason for that, that they need to stay far back. They want to make sure that they have everything under control, but as you've been witnessing, there's been multiple people who have come up, maybe not knowing that the police are pursuing this vehicle.
And Scott, if you're still with us, when you see all of these people engaging with him,
cops gonna have to step in now because there's people are engaged. People are doing more than the cops now.
Enforcement communicate with them because
it's the same animated.
They are kind of hanging back, although now they appear a little bit closer. What is the strategy there, and just trying to keep other people safe and not engage with him?
Well, that's rather difficult to do. There's no way to communicate with them. You have your lights and siren, and anybody that looks in their rear side view mirrors, you're going to see a massive police presence directly behind him. And deductive reasoning hopefully would tell you that the police are after this guy, they're well aware of his activity, and they're following him. So just stay out of their way and let the police do what they have to do.
Yeah, and we do see the lights at least on right now. I assume the sirens are probably also on?
I would imagine so. At least one, sure. Absolutely.
Does the time of day play a role in how police are pursuing this suspect?
Yes.
Not really. Again, it doesn't matter because you still have individuals who are driving who are unaware of the situation. You have pedestrians, so it's a rather uncontrolled situation, and it's up to the suspect to stop and submit to surrender.
Good morning, guys. Rise and shine.
Some methodology of either stopping him, containing him in some manner so that they can effectuate an arrest.
What usually goes through someone's mind in these types of situations? We've seen him now go from Chatsworth to Northridge. He appears to be just west of Reseda now at this point. Is there usually somewhere they're trying to get to, or can you speak to, once these types of suspects are apprehended, what their thought process is in this?
Well, my experience has been I've been involved in a number of pursuits in my day, and the guy would try to get to, as I said or alluded to earlier, that he'd try to get to a position where he knows the area, he has friends there.
I'm a little surprised. Let me see. They're closing in on him. Let me get out. I'm sorry. I'm kind of blocking the screen. Let me move out of here. Let me put myself. There's nowhere. Okay, I can go. I fit right here. Let me throw myself here. So on the right top hand side, guys, for the new people that are joining, this guy had hit another vehicle. He like pushed into another vehicle. And so Mama over here, Mama sees what happened and she tries to get involved. And so she tries to stop this guy. And they actually start having a conversation and she's trying to like reprimand them. Like, no, stop this. Don't do this anymore. And they're arguing back and forth. And then now he's on the loose.
Seems to be.
They got him?
Yeah, he seems to see that the spike strips are coming, and he's trying to maneuver around that.
Did they get him?
It's somewhat remarkable to me in this big and heavy
Mama's
of a truck,
love
that he's able to maneuver as well as he is right now.
Yo, yeah, did he avoid it?
I mentioned that earlier, that if he sees the spike strip, I mean, it's kind of hard to deploy that without being observed. And I mentioned before, he's just going to drive around the thing. So they'll try again multiple times.
He did better than most of these drivers that get caught up in the spike strips. He had this slow, big, Aki-looking, I don't know, towing vehicle or whatever, and he dodged that shit.
Placed down in front of him.
So play this out for us. If the spike strips are deployed and they work and the tires are flattened, then what?
Well, then he's not going to be able to drive at any kind of speed, so hopefully at that point
menace to society.
But I remember years ago when they had a flattened, it was a Range Rover, and I think it started in Santa Barbara, ended up all the way down to North Hollywood with literally on a wheel. It was a great ad for Range Rover, but the thing kept on going without any tire. There was no rubber left, no tire. It was just wheel. And finally just came down to a stub, and the guy finally came to an at-rest position. So he could go for quite some time, depending. Now, this is a heavier vehicle, so maybe that's going to be a mitigating factor. But at this point in time, until they flatten the tires, we don't know.
He is moving at slower speeds right now. I just want to point out he had gotten down into the single digits, now back up, between 15 and 20 miles per hour, but much different than the 50 miles per hour we saw a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's hard to know who you're dealing with, right? When it's a stolen vehicle, at least if it's someone in their own vehicle and you can tag their plates, you can maybe get a hold of them. Okay, now we've seen them come to a stop. The police officer behind him is now getting out of the car, it looks like, and he's agitated again.
He's moving around.
Handling something. We hope it's not a weapon. Now he's back going 10 miles an hour, increasing speed now to 16 miles per hour.
It's been interesting because you don't know with him stealing the vehicle. He seems to be digging through almost a console, moving some cans around in the car, looking very agitated, as you said. Hopefully does not have a weapon in the vehicle with him. But Scott, as you said, that's really the concern for officers at this point once he does jump out of the vehicle and tries to run.
It's always a concern. As I mentioned before, suspects just do what they do. It's what we call extemporaneous. They defy logic. What you and I consider to be logical options and choices, the suspects don't necessarily follow that. So the officers have to.
Good morning. Let me get my caffeine going.
And that's what they were attempting to do at this point in time. They just keep their distance and watch and look for an opportunity to stop. Basically, to
Mandy, thanks for the super chat. Says avoid the spike strips and keep driving. Don't get caught. Don't get out there either. We need this. I know, right? I feel like Chase is. He's doing a U-turn. Leo reacts. The guy was following him was probably the owner of the truck. Maybe
it didn't appear that his hand was in a console. Maybe fiddling with something, trying to listen to the radio. Maybe trying to listen to, knowing that
there some caffeine.
Sky Cal above him and some other. He's being pursued. He may be trying to listen to what's happening right now, but he's now flipped around again, going the opposite direction, going about 22 miles per hour at this point. And now a police officer has gone in front.
So, Scott, what is this officer doing? Is this officer trying to block his path, spike strip? What is he doing now, you think? Spike strip.
Spike strip, yeah.
I'm watching him right now. Yeah, he might be trying to deploy a spike strip, get up ahead of it. Either that or just at least control the intersection. I'm watching right now. Yep, another spike strip coming out, but too late. And that, again, all he has to do is speed up and get around it. It's very difficult for officers to deploy spike strips if the suspect's somewhat aware of what's going on.
Well, yeah, and this officer was behind him, speeded past him, and tried to get out and put a spike strip. Is there not a way to kind of predict where he's going and get someone on a different street to come meet him so that he can't see it happening?
It's pretty hard, pretty difficult because, look, you come to every intersection, you've got 4 different routes. So, which way is he going to go? That you'd literally have to have an officer at every single, intersecting street in order to deploy it and stop him. So it is difficult to predict.
There's a tweet from SFV Scanner says that LAPD going into tracking mode, canceling the spikes as well. So they're falling back, I think. Really?
Bunch of traffic on the other way. He has been used to turning around and getting into the other direction of traffic. That might not be a possibility now at this point with police then behind him. We're pushed in on him. He doesn't look as agitated as he has sometimes before, moving very slowly now, almost at a stop, because you can see that traffic on the other side as well.
Mamma mia.
And you just think about the power of this vehicle and how whatever heavy it is attached to the back of it. We saw already the effect it had on that one car. It's such a slow speed, completely flipping that car around. And then the neighboring vehicle tailing him, catching up to him, actually the driver talking to him or yelling at him in an exchange there. And it was lucky that he drove away and nothing more serious happened. But you just imagine if it hits a person, if it hits another vehicle, it's a very powerful weapon there, basically.
It seems like he's trying to figure out how to turn around again. But as we saw, there was traffic backed up, a number of trucks, cars, other SUVs in the other lanes, the other direction. This has been his motivation, it seems, the whole time, is trying to just keep flipping around back and forth. He's now talking to himself, it looks like, looking agitated again, not quite sure what to do. On the right-hand side of your screen is just a few minutes ago when he did flip around, and you could see the police just right behind him. Now on the left-hand side of your screen, that is the live picture of what is taking place. It's interesting to me because it doesn't seem like there's that much traffic in the lanes where he, in the direction that he's headed, but he has continued to try to flip around numerous times. So not quite sure what he's doing here. Do you have any idea, Scott, what might be going through his mind?
Oh, I think this guy's out to lunch.
Thank you for keeping it real, Scott.
That boy lit.
Well, look, you know what? Street cop perspective. It's just the guy has no idea what he's doing.
That boy lit.
Obviously, he's got some issues.
Yeah.
And it's hard for officers to respond to that in this day and age. It really is.
And we were talking about potential pit maneuver earlier, and you were saying that's not really an option because this vehicle is so big and so heavy. I mean,
what is he drinking on the side? What do you guys think he has in the cup holder?
When do they not?
Got a Monster, a little Java Frappe. What do you think? What do they call that shit? What are you sipping on?
Option. Not at all.
So basically, just wait it out or try to use spike strips. Those are
a lot
the
of cops
only choices.
Pretty much at this point, yes.
He has stopped.
I would say though.
He is now stopped at the intersection of Topanga Canyon and Sherman Way. The officers seem to be a little closer than they were when we saw him stopping at previous intersections. Is there a motivation behind that?
I don't know. Again, it's the guy's so unpredictable, and he slows up, turns
Music
around,
King, what's up?
Goes in the, taking off in the opposing direction. How do you deal with somebody like that? It's virtually impossible.
Yeah, especially when
it's very difficult.
Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
No, it's very difficult for officers in this day and age because, the demands for our application of force and our ability to stop suspects has been significantly upgraded in what they demand of the officers. So the officers have to ascribe to certain policies, practices, policies, and procedures. And in order to do that, sometimes you've got to wait these things out. I can tell you right now, in the 70s, this would probably be an entirely different situation.
In what way?
It would have been over probably a long time ago.
They have to keep.
I'll put it like
Loco?
That.
Okay.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, police work has changed dramatically.
Yes. Right. And we do know that there have been policies that have come from innocent bystanders and pedestrians and other drivers being injured or killed in pursuits like this. So it is a really delicate balance because this is obviously a dangerous situation, but other pursuits that have been more aggressively handled also created a dangerous situation at some points. We think he's in Canoga Park at this point. This started in Chatsworth. He went through Northridge. We've seen him. He's been staying on surface streets the entire time, turning around at times in the middle of the street, pulling U-turns, at times stopping, at times engaging with other drivers, but definitely not paying attention to any of the warnings or commands from officers who are behind him. A huge law enforcement presence behind him. When we get those wider views from SkyCal, we can see just how many people are tailing him. But a lot of these other drivers, like you see the drivers on the other street, they have probably no idea what's happening or that he's dangerous. And of course, the officers and other people don't know know if he's armed. And that is a huge question that could create a really, really dangerous situation.
You know, and you look at the pictures of where he is right now, and there's so many businesses. We just saw pedestrians on the corner of the intersection. We know that he was involved in a hit and run before this pursuit even began. So at this point, you know, dangerous.
Yeah, you guys missed it earlier. He hit a car and another vehicle started chasing him. 2 vehicles. He starts arguing with some lady, mama, going back and forth, and he stops and they start arguing. And then he dips out, and then some other vehicle pulls up, kind of chasing him too. It was crazy earlier.
About 25 minutes of this pursuit already. And it is going on quite a long time on these surface streets in an area where you can see there's apartment buildings right there along Topanga Canyon Boulevard.
Oh, nice. It's beautiful.
You can see before there were other businesses. He seems to be moving at about 15, 16 miles per hour. Now going up into the 40 mile per hour range. There's not as much traffic, it appears, where he is at this various point. But you can see going into a residential area now, which is concerning.
And Scott, not only have we seen a couple times just during this pursuit that other drivers are trying to take it into their own hands and reprimand him or talk to him, engage with him, but we often during these pursuits see people come out. They are watching on the news or they know the location generally, and they come out and try to take pictures or cell phone video of this. Do you want to take a moment and give people advice on what to do and what not to do if this is in your area?
Yeah, I'd say just stay away. Let the police do what they have to do. And one of the things I didn't mention before is I defend officers throughout the United States and federal superior court and the use of force applications. And one of the big things that happens now is when you have opposing attorneys and they're suing police departments for tens of millions of dollars.
Scott, he's now flipping around again with cars going very quickly. This is a dangerous situation, now trying to move directions. Is he running out of space?
He may be. But as I was saying before, the reason the officers are taking some of the more aggressive...
This is where he messes up right now.
...comes up in lawsuits. That was there an alternative response that you could have done that would have mitigated your application or use of force toward our client? So the officers are fully aware of lawsuits that come down. So that's why the officers have to back off. And it's a much less aggressive policing procedure, shall I say, than it was 30 or 40 years ago.
He seems to be moving westbound. He then flipped around into the eastbound lanes, went through a parking lot, now is turning. This is a new direction now for him, going 16 miles per hour. He really does seem to be, not quite sure as to what to do next. I was just told, by the way, we got more information about this company and what this vehicle actually is. So it is a concrete pumping truck. What happens is concrete gets pumped into that piece of equipment that's on the trailer right there. Then that is taken to a construction site where the concrete is then pumped into the construction site. So this is a very heavy vehicle used for construction. It is the company's based in the San Fernando Valley.
It's ballsy.
Going on now, we do know that this started
right there?
Before this suspect allegedly stole this vehicle, was involved in a hit and run, has now been going for about 30 minutes now through the San Fernando Valley, started in Chatsworth, went through Northridge, we believe now in Canoga Park. You can see at Roscoe Boulevard and Owens Mouth Avenue is the location. He had just turned onto Roscoe Boulevard a few moments ago after going one direction for quite some time.
And Scott, we know this is a stolen vehicle. It was reported stolen, but he seems to have a pretty strong command of it, doesn't he? For a vehicle this big, this heavy. I mean, could it be he potentially have, that
Jesus.
was a really dangerous situation right there with the pedestrian just almost touching the vehicle as he crossed the street and jaywalked there during a pursuit. So this vehicle came back as stolen, Scott, but is it possible he could have been an employee of the company who went rogue and took the vehicle? Is it possible this could have been, he could be working in the same industry or being used to driving this type of a vehicle?
I'm not sure on that, but I know it's not like driving a large semi truck where you'd have to understand.
So it looks like the cops have disengaged because he was getting more aggressive. So he's just in his own world, his own time.
It's heavy, that's all. So
well, he's not moving now.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. He's slowed down now. He seems to be stopped. There's some traffic behind him. We don't see much traffic in front of him. He's now drinking something.
That boy drinking. Let's go.
Out of a yellow can, it appears. looking agitated again. Now
he does look like maybe he's on something. He's kind of like
Go Boulevard at this point in time, going between 10 and 12 miles per hour. He's not going very fast, but it doesn't really matter in these situations, does it? When you have so many pedestrians and other vehicles out on the roadway this morning.
And Scott, talk about the mindset of the officers. I mean, we know they're thinking about, you mentioned that they're thinking about potential lawsuits. How is this all going to end up? How is it going to be played out? But what is their mindset, too, when they're following someone who's clearly agitated, who's clearly, as you put it earlier, out to lunch? He's not obeying any of their commands. They're trying to use spike.
It's Twisted Tea? Is that what you guys saying?
Right now.
Let me check it out.
Well, officers nowadays, and this is across the board in the United States, but officers have learned how to deal with EDP, emotionally disturbed persons. They have classes, in-service classes, and their protocols. And so right now they're just being patient and understanding that sometimes it's very hard to deal with somebody that is simply just not in their right mind. And that's one of the challenges of police work. You're dealing with somebody that is unpredictable. And that can be very dangerous at times.
One of the concerns I have is that he's really halfway between two freeways right now, the 101 and the 118. What would be the concern if he moves from surface streets to the highway?
Well, again, you go to higher speeds and there's more,
obviously
there's a higher risk of a really serious traffic accident if you're moving at higher speeds. And again, people aren't going to be aware that there's an actual pursuit going on unless they look in their rear view mirrors, side view mirrors, realizing that there is, in fact, a large police presence directly behind him.
Yeah, he does kind of look like he's tweaking, just the way he's like really rapidly moving his head around.
That if you know who the suspect is, if you have any indication, they spend a lot of time behind the scenes. I didn't realize this, trying to get in touch with the suspect's family, trying to call in and reason with the person, trying to get other people, friends and loved ones to kind of intervene in this situation. But when you have a stolen vehicle like this,
I think it's trying to switch lanes.
This guy is, right?
Yeah.
No, they don't. And I've had other pursuits that I've been aware of where what we've done, actually worked on cases where we've been able to identify the suspect. He had a cell phone, and we were able to get the mother to talk to the suspect over his cell phone to get.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's super
if we
frantic.
Don't know who the suspect is, if he doesn't have a cell phone, then that's not a viable
he's pissed.
option.
You say that?
Obviously, there's no way of being able to talk to him with a relative or somebody that knows him.
Well, can you just speak to his, level of thinking right now? I know you said he's probably out to lunch, but I'm sure throughout his body he's got adrenaline going. He's probably very upset, triggered by what's happening before him. Doesn't really know where he's going. Can you just talk through in the past when you finally caught up to these people, what was going through their mind?
Well, just based on my experience, I would say he probably has a criminal record. That's number one. Number two, he knows that once he's caught, and he's going to be caught, and he's probably well aware of that, he's
never judge a book by its cover.
Going to prison for an extended period of time. This isn't going to be jail time where that's a year and under. He's going to be in there for quite some time. So obviously with the hit and runs, if there are any injuries, then that upgrades the charge and it upgrades the sentence. So he's well aware that this is not a good situation for him.
He's moving through the San Fernando Valley. As you pointed out earlier, he likely has some type of connection to this area, correct?
I would assume so, yeah. That would be reasonable.
So if somebody's watching right now and they think they may know this person, what should they do?
Nothing.
Well, you can call the police and then they can relay patch it through, and perhaps they've got some kind of an indicator as to what his motivation is, if there's any way of getting a hold of him. It doesn't appear that the one thing I haven't seen him do is take out a cell phone, call anybody.
I feel like I saw this vehicle drive by him earlier and kind of look, and then it's interesting. Now he's coming back out. I wonder if he's following him.
You're watching KCAL News Mornings at 8 a.m., and we are following this pursuit. We've been following it for, at least half an hour now. It started in Chatsworth. It went through Northridge and then Canoga Park. He's now going about 25 miles per hour. He's committed at least 2 hit and runs. One of them we witnessed from video from SkyCal Live on our air. The other one happened before we even started following, and this was reported as a stolen vehicle.
And that's why we're concerned with this right now, right? When I just said that that he was in a tight squeeze. We've already seen him ourselves hit one vehicle to try to get out of the way. He doesn't seem to be concerned about the welfare of others at this point as he's moving through this traffic, just trying to get away from the police department. The police have tried to put out stop strips a few times, and as we've been talking to Scott Reitz this morning, that in this type of case that doesn't always work because you have to have so many different places that the officers need to be, right, Scott?
Well, that's correct. Yeah, you are trying to contain the unpredictable, and that's a virtual impossibility in a situation like this. If you get lucky, yes, but other than that, he's stuck.
It's interesting that he keeps rolling down his window when he pulls up to other cars, when he's next to other drivers at a stop. He keeps rolling down the window, sometimes talking with other people, seems to be very fidgety and agitated. Is he talking to himself? Is he talking to other people? Is he talking to the police? It's just hard to know, but definitely very animated there behind the wheel as he comes. He's again talking to another car, hitting another car.
This is earlier. On the right-hand side of the screen is what we witnessed earlier today when this was in the Northridge area. He's now in the Canoga Park area. That's the left-hand side of your screen. So if you're paying attention to the live picture right now, that's the left-hand side where he is going through the intersection. Again, you can see pedestrians, which we've seen many times this morning at these various intersections. One in the crosswalk just went through. Now he's turning again back onto Sherman Way and Canoga Avenue. We've witnessed him turn around several times trying to get away from the police this morning. Now appears to be trying to make he's not going to turn. Now going back down Sherman Way, trying to figure out what to do. I do think, it is interesting, Rudabeh, that you just mentioned. He is putting his window up, down. He seems to be more agitated. I know, Scott, you said that it hasn't appeared that he's pulled out any cell phone, but, we don't know. Maybe he's on speakerphone to someone talking to them right now. We don't know the situation within that vehicle. And I'm having a hard time. Do you see the police? How close they are, Rudabeh, at this point?
I haven't seen them at this point. It's interesting. He's now pulling up to another vehicle with heavy machinery. He's turning now, slowly. When we get that wider view from SkyCal, we did see that it was, at least half a dozen officers behind him. That's the LAPD right now who's been following him.
Thanks for the super chat. It says, contact Atomic Concrete for all your concrete needs. Seriously, right? Dr. Edward Moskowitz Mel sent you an email with sincerity. Please read it on your own time, Dr. Ed. Thank you, Ed. I hope you're doing well. Allison Faye, thank you so much for the 4-month membership. Rachel, thank you for the 2-month. Rise and shine, great way to start the day. Allison says, love you, Mel. Lilac Peach, thank you for the 15 months, says, love you, Mel.
Moving around.
Thank you.
You've got this other industrial area. We've seen pedestrians at the crosswalks. He has moved through some residential areas, which always can make things very tricky and nerve-wracking for police who are pursuing the suspect. He's now.
It's going to be a good day when we start with a chase.
Moving very slowly, but in these situations,
heavy machinery fetish.
On these surface streets, what type of impact does that have, Scott?
Nothing.
Well, the interesting thing right now, you can see the LAPD.
He's not even moving, barely.
One of the things they can do, air support up above, and maybe by backing off the LAPD, the black and white.
The crazy thing is people walking next to his vehicle and they have no idea what's going on. Oh, he stopped. Oh, Jesus. What are they doing? What's that, Jehovah's Witness?
Well, we were just told that the LAPD is now just monitoring this situation.
Ooh, they don't know how much they just dodged the bullet, bro. Hello, si, senor. See?
And then walked off. Can you talk about what may be happening here with the LAPD just monitoring this situation now?
Yeah, by backing off the pursuing
what's he doing?
Black and white units, what you're doing is hopefully decreasing the suspect's level of anxiety. Just let him go ahead, stop wherever he's going to stop. He's going to bail out. And at that point, then you can bring in canine and responding officers. If they have to, they'll just conduct a search and, hopefully arrest the suspect.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Lord.
It makes sense. At this
no,
point,
zoom in. What's going on here?
The police presence didn't seem to cause them any consternation. So we'll just monitor. Air support's above you. Once they get above you, you're basically bought and paid.
Oh, man. He's quacked out, bro.
So was there anything? Was there any?
Look at this. He did a U-turn. People are talking to him. What is going on here? They're trying to stop him?
Makes you so nervous to see that because they probably don't know how dangerous he actually.
The thing is that now pedestrians are kind of getting involved, which is like cops kind of need to be here. But I guess they kind of checked out and called it on this for the danger of the public. But the public's literally getting involved.
Just makes you wonder. Luckily, he hasn't been too aggressive towards them. Just that one car that he actually rammed and flipped around when he was trying to get away. But it didn't seem like he was doing that because he was actually had animosity toward the driver there. Do you think that there was one thing that he did that made them back off, or is it just a matter of time that he's not stopping and now they've been following him for this long?
I think it's just a matter of time. They realize whatever, they're not able to deploy these spike strips effectively. And at this point, somebody's going to make a command decision. The watch commander going to go,
I wonder,
we'll monitor it.
Does he know these people? Do they just, I guess these people just know there's a chase? I don't know why they stand out in the middle of the road.
People there in construction clothing looking to try to talk to him. Is this something that maybe people in the area are now, they've seen what's happening either on TV or listening to it on the radio, and they're going out of their businesses and industrial area to try to intervene themselves?
Well, that appears to be the case. Not exactly a great option. I think it's a good intent, and I understand that, and it's admirable. But again, you don't know what the suspect, what his intention is, motivation.
That green car was the same, or van was in the same, was on the other side as well. It's like he's following him. I guess they're really trying to intervene, and maybe they're trying to talk him out of it.
Pursuit, I will say that.
I think it's odd that he's talked to almost 10 people now, whether it's in their vehicle or at the intersections. Does that indicate anything to you as to his state of mind?
He's friendly.
Oh, he's willing to talk to people, just not the police.
That's a good observation. And we saw just a second ago a car actually kind of going in reverse to follow him. And some of these pedestrians he's talking, that was kind of a narrow miss. Some of these pedestrians he's talking to, it looks like they think he's stopping to talk with them, and then he drives off. So they kind of stop to engage with him, and then they walk away. We see this from earlier on the right-hand side of your screen. We're looking at live pictures on the left-hand side of your screen. And these are the pedestrians we're talking to. It looked like he
just waves. Hey,
yeah, bye. Like they stopped to talk to him, like they thought he might want something, directions or something, and then he pulled away, and they just kind of went on their own way.
Yeah, I guess, have you seen a pursuit like this in some time, Scott?
Not really. It's been a few years. This is just a very slow-moving pursuit. This guy literally has no idea what he's doing, and that's it's again for law enforcement. That's a real big challenge to try to contain the situation when it's virtually uncontainable at this point in time.
Well, I think that's an interesting point because I do seem, it seems covering a lot of these police chases. Many of them are very typical, and you can follow a procedure, and the police can get in place, and but everything about this has been somewhat strange today. You have this very large vehicle with a cement pump attached to it, driving through surface streets, only going between 5. The highest we've seen him go through an intersection was about 50 miles per hour, but he's stopping at every intersection. He's talking to people. It's now gone on for about 40 minutes or so this morning. We've been following this. He's now on DeSoto Avenue and Hart Street. It does seem like everything about this is unusual, Scott.
It is. And welcome to Los Angeles.
That's true.
Right. I mean, that is kind of why we laugh about it, but that is a benefit of this happening here, where law enforcement is very well versed on these pursuits. California Highway Patrol, obviously very well versed, and LAPD, who's handling this pursuit. Okay. This is not their first rodeo, Scott.
No, it isn't. And, again, in-service training about pursuits, about dealing with emotionally disturbed persons, has been significantly upgraded over the decades.
Well, it's good that he stopped at the red light at least and didn't go into oncoming traffic.
Radically changed from those of many years ago.
And it does seem to be getting more congested. He's now at DeSoto and Van Owen, which is a very busy area, especially at 8:07 a.m., rush hour. Luckily, school is out right now, but people are on their way to work.
People don't lock their doors in Cali. I mean, I know in my area, my car door, sometimes I leave it unlocked right here in my neighborhood. I don't know why I should lock it more. But like in this area, cars are getting stolen all the time. I mean, everywhere it happens, but you just see these chases all the time. You think people would lock these vehicles up?
I know. There's the potential. I appreciate in some ways that he's stopping at these intersections instead of flying through them. But I can't help but feel nervous for the people around him, because we don't know what type of behavior he could exhibit. Ashley? If he could get out of the car, he's been talking to people. Could he engage with drivers, try to get into another vehicle? What are your concerns when you see that type of scene, Scott?
Well, again, it all goes back to the fact that this individual works in a very extemporaneous fashion. That means he's going to do what he's going to do. There's going to be no logic behind it. To a reasonable person, the person who has their mental faculties, none of this seems rational. And dealing with irrational people is a challenge in and of itself.
You just don't know how they're going to behave or how they're going to react.
Exactly. And until we can establish dialogue, what we call CNT, question negotiation talk with the suspect, there's no way for us to downgrade.
Kate Breton, drone pilot, says, if cement pump is not rolling the cement, then it is getting heavier as it is set up inside the pump. Harder to handle, pulling that behind him, and he'll run out of fuel faster. I'm surprised that he dodged the spike strip. For the new people that just joined, they tried to spike strip him. And this is when he hit a vehicle early I was telling you guys about. They threw a spike strip and he like slowly just dodged the shit, like in slow motion. He ran through this vehicle. This lady here, she started raging. Mama over there, she started raging. What? You're not going to do that shit? She ends up following his ass. I don't know if they're going to show it now. She ends up chasing this guy and catches up to him and starts having a whole conversation with him.
He's now moving opposite lane of traffic, which is very dangerous.
No,
moving back in now, trying to merge his way in. But, you know, that's really the difficulty here is police, you know, they don't know. Is he lessening his anxiety? We now just saw an LAPD helicopter go through our SkyCal shot. So they are still above him, but you don't see the police cars behind him. And Scott, you said that really is to try to just get him to calm down and stop this.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, it's in his court. Hopefully he'll just stop at some point in time. He may actually just stop, get out and just start walking down the sidewalk. I don't know.
Yeah, we have seen that before.
Yeah, we saw that last time.
He does at least appear to not be intentionally swerving into the other lane of traffic. It seems like he is trying to stay in the right lane and kind of almost be a little bit inconspicuous. I mean, he's following most of the traffic laws at times, at other times actually ramming cars. Imagine if you were the driver on your way to work and you were that car that just got rammed by this person.
Not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, and it's just a reminder not to be aggressive when people cut you off, not to approach people who you might be angry at for some sort of driving maneuver they've just done, because you have no idea what they're capable of and what their mental stability is. He's now going at speeds of upwards of 45 miles per hour. We've seen him be pretty slow, drive pretty slowly so far. This is, I think, the fastest he's gone since we've been.
He's driving in between lanes. The only thing, too, so they backed off, and so he did calm down more. The only thing I would say, though, is that since he seems like something going on with his ass, he's bobbing his head all over. Look at that. See somebody running across the thing. At any moment, I hope at least he seems kind of in control, but he could
went through Mason Avenue, and
I mean, he seems like he's somewhat controlled without the cops behind him, but he's also not stopping. He doesn't seem to have a goal. Like, who's going to steal this vehicle with a purpose, right? Like, what are you going to do with this vehicle, right? Guy seems kind of out of his head. Interact with multiple people. Already crashed and rammed somebody.
Not paying attention, and he hits him with that vehicle, it's definitely going to create a major traffic collision.
Yeah, that's a heavy-ass vehicle.
Or if he just decides to get aggressive and use that vehicle as a weapon, I mean, that is potentially deadly.
Swerving?
Oh, absolutely. A lot more deadly than any firearm or anything else, and that's what people don't understand.
I think it's carrying concrete,
that's one
right?
of the problems with some pursuits when they're at high speed, that they have the potentiality of really causing, you know, what we call GBI, great bodily injury and or death, by impacting innocent people that are not involved in the situation at all, that are unaware of what is transpiring around them.
Even we've seen pursuits before where the drivers crash into buildings, even, you know, with people inside. So there are so many scenarios in which this could go wrong and in which other people could get hurt, especially the innocent drivers, bystanders, pedestrians, people who are trying to get to work. We saw traffic was getting congested at times. He's gone all throughout the San Fernando Valley. It started in Chatsworth. And he doesn't, does he seem to you like he has a destination?
At this point, I would say no.
Java in the chat says concrete pumps don't carry concrete. Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was carrying concrete inside the thing or whatever.
Right, he's all over the map.
He's currently, I'm being told by our director in the booth who knows the area that he's right next to Pierce College. You know, we are in summer, which is a good thing, but just to give people a location reference, to the right is Pierce College. in the San Fernando Valley. So he's just west of Winnetka.
Is he going to the college?
It does concern me, though. He does seem to be moving west toward potentially the interstate. And
sorry. I muted it.
With what you just said, maybe not. Maybe he's just going to continue to go around in circles, not knowing quite what to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's stayed off the freeways for all this time. It's kind of interesting. Scott, what do you make of that?
For whatever reason, he avoids highways. Doesn't mean he won't get on the highway in the future here, but he seems to favor the surface streets for whatever reason, and he seems to be driving in a somewhat safe manner.
At this point,
at this point. It doesn't mean that it won't change in the future, obviously.
Could that also indicate, though, that he is calming down, that maybe his anxiety is lessening, he's actually paying attention and trying to keep up, with traffic and not do something dangerous?
That would seem to be a rational deduction, yes, absolutely. Good observation.
So if I asked you earlier to play out for us what would happen if the spike strips were successful, what would happen if they tried to do a pit maneuver? You said that wouldn't really be feasible with this type of a vehicle. What if he does run out of gas? What do officers do then? What is the procedure?
Well, if he gets out and bails, then in other words, he takes off running or walking or whatever. You have the air unit directly above. They're going to direct the officers. If he goes to an area which is hard for the officers on foot to locate the suspect's position, then they're going to bring in canine. And our canine guys, I trained them for years. Those guys are at the top of their game.
Oh, so the canines.
Find them.
Yeah.
And then the LAPD also has the ability to use what we call FLIR, forward-looking infrared. And even in the daytime, they can go white hot, black hot, and they can see body signature, the heat differentiation between that and ambient temperature. So they're able to pick up on where the suspect is. So if he comes to an at-rest position and takes off, we're going to get him. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be captured.
And we've also seen scenarios where they don't bail. They just stop, and then it's kind of a standoff where the suspect remains in the vehicle. Officers don't necessarily know if there's a gun in the vehicle. And how does that go?
Well, at that point in time, you're going to bring in D-Team, which is SWAT. And these guys, they have the capability of not only establishing communication with the suspect, but then we can bring to bear a lot of assets that line officers simply don't have.
So I do want to point out the right-hand side of your screen is what we witnessed earlier, and you just saw an officer try to deploy those stop sticks. The police car had been behind the suspect. He then moved in front of them as you would, tried to put the stop sticks out. It did not work. And now, I just checked. We went to this live right around 7:20 this morning, but had heard that this pursuit had been taking place before that. So we are now more than an hour
what's he doing?
Into this police pursuit.
He pulled into a parking lot? Is this the end of the chase?
Parking lot. Not quite sure what's happening here. Police have not been following him closely over the last about 15, 20 minutes or so. They decided to start monitoring him rather than pursuing him on the ground on those surface streets. So not quite sure if he does plan to come to a stop in this parking lot or if he's looking for an alternate way to get back onto a different lanes of the surface streets. But again, you do not see police cars following very closely at this point because they are just monitoring the situation right now, trying to get that suspect.
This would have been a perfect spot. They could have trapped him in there.
Through this parking lot, Scott.
I think the guy's just lost. He has no idea what he's doing. I think he's just confused. I don't think he's as agitated as he was earlier, but he's trying to figure out how to get out of this, and he's not going to get out of it. I mean, that's the logical conclusion. All he's doing is prolonging his
inevitable.
Arrest, his capture. They're going to get him.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
When you see them pull into parking lots like this, you kind of wonder, is this going to come to an end? Are they going to stop? But he's getting back out on the street again. Now he's going on looks like a smaller kind of side street here.
You just watch those cars. He just cleared that intersection where those cars could have ended up hitting that
another
concrete pump. Yeah, now he's going, not quite sure. Can't read the business board there to let you know where exactly this is location-wise, but he's very close to the buildings there, trying to maneuver himself through the parking lot.
I'm wondering if he's looking for a place to come to a stop, or is he just sick of being on the surface? It's hard to know what's going through his mind. You see him roll down the window again. Again, he's looking at. Appears that he's looking at part of the truck.
He did this earlier where he rolled down the window and he was looking beneath. It almost seemed like he thought maybe there was some damage, maybe after he hit that vehicle. Right now, it does appear the window is up. Okay, he's now pulling back through from the parking lot onto the surface streets here.
I wonder if he realizes to the helicopters are on him, or has he completely disassociated and forgot about the choppers? Does he feel like he's just on his own? Because he hasn't seen cops in a long time now, so he's just kind of
longer way of turning out of some of these places that he has to take into consideration. You can see him now coming up on traffic. So he's now gone through 2 parking lots and he's back on surface streets. What do you make of that, Scott?
Oh, boy.
Again, I think this guy's totally lost, and he has no idea what he's doing. And obviously talking to himself on, I doubt he may be on speakerphone, but I don't think that's a high probability.
Oh, speakerphone?
He's got some real mental health issues for sure.
Yeah, and possibly under the influence, right? I mean, that's something that officers are looking into.
Almost
but his driving, for the most part, for the better part of an hour, has not been as erratic.
It seems like he should be able to move forward.
He's blocking traffic right now.
That.
Uh-oh. Does he see the light?
Again,
is he under the light?
He's unpredictable. And, you know, again, it could be what we can, as I mentioned before, EDP, emotionally disturbed person, under the influence, combination thereof. And that just makes for very erratic behavior, which has no logic to it. There's no logical linear format or anything else. He's just doing what he does.
Going now?
He's making a left-hand turn now. We saw that car behind him. And, you know, you just hope these other drivers don't get agitated with the way he's driving, not knowing how dangerous and unstable he is, and try to engage with him, which we already have seen. We saw it with a person on a bicycle. We then saw it with a person who was narrowly missed when he hit that other car. And so, you know, that's one thing to just keep in mind, not to engage, not to try to take pictures, not to approach people like this. You just really have no idea what is going through their mind and what they're capable of. Now approaching 40 miles per hour. He's now on Winnetka Avenue, just passing Hart Street. And we have been following this now for over an hour?
Yeah, it's over an hour now at this point. We went to this live around 7:20 this morning. It is now 8:21, so we are past an hour at this point. We know police have been following him from before, because when this all originally started, what the LAPD told us is that this suspect was involved in a hit and run, stole this vehicle. It appears from a concrete pumping company called Atomic Concrete Pumping. He's now been on the roadways for about an hour. Police followed him for quite some time through the San Fernando Valley. It started in Chatsworth, went through Northridge, Canoga Park. Now he's basically he's now in Winnetka. He's been going in circles. We've seen him go through parking lots, as Rudabeh was saying, talking to pedestrians. It's been a fairly slow pursuit, because he's stayed on these surface streets and gone through these parking lots. But as Scott was mentioning earlier, now he's engaging with a bicyclist, it appears. He's got the window rolled down on the passenger side of the truck. This is concerning to me. He's moving toward the bicyclist.
But the bicyclist luckily isn't stopping or approaching the car, which is good.
That is good.
And now they're going their separate ways. And, I'm looking at the map right now, and the freeways are completely packed and clogged. And I'm wondering if that's why he's staying on the surface streets, because he knows that there's nowhere to go on the freeway. What do you think, Scott?
Well, that's a possibility, unless you have that, what is it, Waze or something like that. I know our kids. But, you know,
what's your guys' favorite app for GPSing? I'm gonna put a poll: Google Maps, iPhone Map, whatever, or Waze.
People are on their way to work, and it's rush hour, 8:22 in the morning.
Which y'all like to use?
Sure,
I want to know.
Surface streets give them a lot more latitude to maneuver around. Absolutely.
Especially in a vehicle like this, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is a large vehicle. You get on the freeway, you're going to definitely get blocked in.
Yeah, so it's concerning to see the pedestrians and people out on bikes and you know, people living in the neighborhood. It's concerning to see that, but we also wonder how agitated he might get if he's blocked in on a freeway.
He just threw a can out the window.
Threw away the evidence.
Not quite sure what's happening there. We've seen him pick up that can several times. Not sure what it is. It's a yellow can. When he's been at his most agitated, he seems to be picking up and drinking out of it. He just threw it out the car window at Sherman Way and also Avenue. Oh, you can see he is stopping for pedestrians who are crossing the street. We like to see that because this can be a very dangerous situation. Obviously, these pedestrians don't know exactly what's happening. I do find it a little curious. He's engaged with so many people, so close to these individuals walking through the intersection. What do you make of him talking to so many people this morning, Scott?
That's an oldie.
Well, this may be the first live case of a pursuit influencer.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Look, he's
because he's talking to people.
Or something
that was
like
Mama.
That. I don't know. He's very affable.
Yeah, that was Mama earlier. The lady, you know how sometimes Mama or woman, they want to control everything. So this woman over here trying to control this guy on a chase and shit. Stop that! Stop! Like she's trying to reprimand him, want to punish him and shit, so put him on timeout. This ain't the time for that, Mama. She's over here trying to argue with him and shit in the middle of a chase.
Gave us a message that he keeps moving away from the 101. He's getting close, and then he drives in the opposite direction. And wow. The 101, as I mentioned, is completely packed and clogged with traffic right now. So if he does get on the 101, he'll hit that traffic, and he will definitely.
And for a minute, he probably saw his own mother and her. He probably remembers the time. I don't know if he had his mom in his life. Probably remembers the time Mama reprimanding him and shit for me. He had a moment of like consciousness and awareness for a bit.
And actually got kind of violent with the vehicle, ramming that car and spinning it around. So you can only imagine what would happen if he's surrounded by hundreds or thousands of cars on a freeway.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's had very erratic behavior.
That boy dealt with a Karen.
We watched him as he got very agitated, rammed the back of that one car, spinning it into the other direction. And then he's been abiding by several laws, waiting at intersections for the light to turn, being conscientious of pedestrians in the crosswalk. You don't seem to know what to make exactly of his behavior since it seems to be very up and down. I have to believe that that's concerning to police, Scott.
It always is. Ask any police officer with any street experience. The hardest thing to deal with is the person who is emotionally disturbed. Sometimes you can't there's no rationalization with them. You can't talk them down out of certain situations. So that becomes a very hard challenge for police officers.
Yeah, but he does seem to be far less agitated since they backed off. At the beginning of this pursuit, we saw so many LAPD officers in vehicles behind him. We saw them putting out spike strips several times, trying to stop him unsuccessfully. He knows that there are choppers overhead. He can hear that. He had his window down at times. And that was like really when he was very agitated. And now he seems to be much calmer. I think if I were a driver on one of these side streets, I wouldn't know anything was wrong.
Well, that's correct. Here's the thing. The LAPD, one of their mainstay mottos is reverence for life. And the watch commander made the right call in directing the pursuit just to back off.
Because they're working on GTA 6. That GTA 6 thing is going to be dope. Some kid got arrested for that, or we'll talk about that some other time. But that would be dope if they add a Karen in GTA 6.
Yeah, so far it is.
He's going off though.
Attracted event.
He is turned up. I don't know whatever he's on. Maybe a stimulant or something. He's just like he can't stay still. He's just like constantly moving around. I don't know what's going on.
Look frustrated, or potentially, as you said, maybe on some type of substance. What do you make of what you're seeing on your screen from SkyCal?
Well, the hardest thing, again, you have suspects under the influence. I've dealt in the past, with suspects that were under the influence of juice, what we used to call PCP. The same thing with methamphetamines.
Well, they leaving?
Any of those, Crystal, these things are really alter an individual's perception and their actions. And it's very, very difficult for policemen to attempt to defuse the situation or predict what the suspect is going to respond to.
So we're getting a wider view now of where he is, and he really has gone all over the valley.
I'm wondering if SkyCal is backing off as well right now. Is this something that maybe police have asked SkyCal to back off? Because we very quickly pulled out of that close shot.
Actually, we just need to refuel.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pull a backup feed. Hold on. If I got it.
Okay, we're just getting information from the producer in the booth right now. So SkyCal is going to refuel. This pursuit still taking place. LAPD monitoring it. It has been going on for about an hour now, and we will be right back with a look at traffic.
Let me see.
Actually, let's check in with Kalina right now. And Kalina, you had been sending us messages about.
Damn. Is KTLA live? Let me try KTLA. Use Fox 11. I don't see Fox 11. Hold on. Hold on, let me see something. Chase. Damn, they cut off right there. This was good. Let me see if I can find something because we lost the chase early. Hold on. Do we have this one here? No, they cut it off too. Hold on a second. Fox 11. Let's see. Fox 11. They cut it off. ABC, baby. Let's go.
Behind the vehicle. It wouldn't surprise me if they've got units up in front as well.
Don't
and they're going to try another spike
Hold on.
But here's a change in their strategy to try and get this over with. It looks like they were not content to continue to follow just with the helicopter overhead.
Thank you guys
in the chat,
too.
A couple of patrol cars behind the suspect.
We got to see this to the end. I hope we get to see it to the end. I'm taking my light back. Damn, bro. Bro, Cade for peace. I'm so excited.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what the suspect does now, because we've been, talking about the strategy and what they may be thinking about, backing off and going to tracking because it wasn't much of a danger. But now that they're back re-engaged and right behind him, if the suspect starts driving extremely erratically and starts swerving around traffic, they may back off once again. But right now, it appears the suspect has about the same demeanor. He's stopped right now on Van Owen. We're headed westbound in Canoga Park. And the patrol cars, right behind him, looks like he's looking out the window. It's about 3 or 4 times I've seen him look out and stare down. Not sure exactly what he might be looking for, but, he's been so erratic. He can't sit still. He's bouncing back and forth, gesturing at people he doesn't know, looking up at us in the helicopter, and now looking behind him at the patrol cars. But having the patrol cars right behind him, Tony, hasn't seemed to change his demeanor or the way he's driving, which is kind of good because now they can be right behind him and monitor him, and we're not seeing him trying to take off and get away from those patrol cars.
Oh, they're saying DUI? They're calling it DUI? I heard him say in the background. Which clearly DUI, right? But not surprising, but I guess they added that on. Damn it. Hold on a second. Trying to see if I can make a newer thumbnail with this Karen.
Yeah, and we understand now they're saying it's a DUI, and it doesn't appear to me like he's driving under the influence of alcohol. I could be totally wrong on that, but it appears from his demeanor that it's going to be more than just alcohol in this individual's system. He has fairly good control of the vehicle. Like, he can stay in his lane. We don't see him swerving too badly, but boy, the way he's jumping up and down and can't sit still. Police do say now he's driving under the influence of something. We are stopped now at Canoga Avenue in Woodland Hills, and if we open up a little bit, we'll get an idea what the patrol cars are doing. They're going to open their door. They've got, the bullhorn on there. They're going to try and get his attention, say, hey, come on, just give yourself up. You're not going to get away. If they know who he is, which they may by now, they'll put his name out there to let the suspect know for sure that, they know who he is. And right now we're completely stopped. Canoga and Victory Boulevard, headed eastbound at Canoga Avenue. And we're just going to have to see, or it might be the other way around, looking out the window south on Canoga at Victory, what the suspect does. But the good news is, Tony, we're in an intersection right now. We've seen pursuits in a lot of cases. When this happens, the suspect go right through a red light and endanger himself and others. This suspect hasn't done anything like that. And I think that's why they went back to this track, or back to the re-engaging with the patrol cars right behind him, because it hasn't changed the way he's driving at all.
Interesting, because at one point they were saying I thought they called it off, but now I guess they're engaging him again.
Well, yeah, they're going to try and communicate with them. They certainly like to talk them out of this and get this over with. And they do open the doors immediately. They stop the vehicle. They hide behind the doors, basically just in case the suspect gets out with a weapon. It allows them to open fire on the suspect if they have to, because it's tough to do if you're sitting down. So they want to be behind the door. They want to be safe, and they want to be in a position where they can protect themselves. And so in most cases, they'll stop the vehicle. They'll open the doors. You got both the driver and a passenger. They'll both get out, more than likely with their guns drawn. They just don't know what they're dealing with at this point in time, but they're very aware of cross-traffic about, what they have to deal with here. They absolutely positively would not want anything to end in gun battle in a situation like this. We understand they might be doing a spike strip here in a moment.
Oh, okay, let's see.
I don't see exactly where it is, but when he's traveling, we've seen in the past, when he's going this slow, it's really hard to get one out. But I think we're going to see it in a moment here. We just heard over the scanner. It might be at this intersection here. So there it is. So they're getting ready to get the spike strip out. We'll see if the suspect sees it. And when the vehicle's traveling that slow, he could sort of prepare for it and get around it. We'll see if this time the suspect is able to.
Here we go. Let me get out the way. Or wherever they're going to do
Several times.
Oh, he's moving already. That's the thing.
To get away from it. And, if you're the LAPD officer, it's a tough one, too. You just don't want to run.
Oof.
You just don't want to run out there. Did that get stuck on the fence? They missed it. There you go. They're dragging it back. So he was able to get around that. And, you've got to be careful, too, if you're the officer. You don't want to.
For as much as he looks like he's out of it and like this and this shit and all that, that boy's still, I don't know if it's the drugs helping him or some shit. Maybe he's seeing everything in slow motion and shit. So he saw him from a mile away, like moving like this and stuff. And he sees it because in his head, everything's going so fast that reality actually goes slow. And so he's in like another time conceptual of the realm, whatever. I don't even know if that made sense. But.
If you did hit that trailer, it would just flip over and boy, it could cause so much injury to anybody in the surrounding area. So this is not a vehicle that they could attempt that with.
Damn, bro. That's the second spike he dodged. That one was a lot easier. I think they messed up, I guess, but I guess they set a fence or something.
Everything. Anything.
Damn, bro.
Anything you could think of, I think we've seen pursued from, was a tank in San Diego. I've seen a bus being pursued one time. We've had campers that split apart during the middle of a pursuit. And it looks like now, there's no rhyme or reason to this, Tony. I've never been able to figure it out, but they're going back into tracking mode. So I guess they tried to spike strip. It didn't work, so just follow them from the helicopter. So the patrol cars have backed off once again. We're back on Victory Boulevard. Same exact spot we were when we were talking, 10 minutes ago, Tony.
Time traveler.
Where he got some speed up because there was no traffic around him. Traveling eastbound and coming back up next to Pierce College once again. There's more traffic at the intersection up ahead than we had last time. It's probably getting closer to when most of the classes start, whatever summer classes they have here or activities. But we're right next to Pierce College, and we're back on tracking mode. It's just a helicopter overhead.
As far as favorite maps, people voted 68% Google Maps, 20% Waze Maps, and Apple Maps is 10%. The Waze thing, I don't really use it. I like Google Maps, but one of my exes, she kind of put me onto it. There's a lot of options Waze has that Google Maps doesn't really have. That's kind of dope. All right, he's there. Let's see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, that crate in the back is moving back and forth. The back of the pickup, or whatever that is. Good morning, Maury. 2 months. Thank you so much. Right? This is a great way to start the day. As long as nobody gets hurt. Yes, they try to clip me and cancel me. As long as nobody gets hurt. Thank you, Christina, for the stars on Facebook. Making sure you guys hit like and share, please, if you can.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Good luck.
Who's this? Oh, let's see. Is he just driving by, or is he trying to?
It really appears right from the start. We sort of got an idea that was the case. Just by the way, he was so agitated, couldn't sit still, always moving around. I mean, you usually only see that type of activity from someone if they're on the influence of something. And now police have confirmed that. There is a little chatter right now about going back into surveillance. Going back into mode right behind him, re-engaging and trying another spike strip. It's on Victory Boulevard, and he's going to stop here. There's some stoplight traffic. It's a little more difficult to do the spike strip in this area where you have long stretches. And I do see they're going to start to re-engage. It looks like they're pulling up again. They're probably about a half mile away, but it looks like they're speeding up. In a situation like this where you don't have a lot of real major stops or areas where that you could hide for the spike strip, it's kind of difficult to do it. It's going to be easier on some of the, those blocks where you have a lot of a lot of things to hide behind, whether it's a vehicle that's parked on the shoulder. You see, Victory Boulevard, you really can't park.
That Waze thing is dope too, because like, let's say you could pick. It'll tell you what time of the day is best for you to leave on your trip. So if you're not in a rush to get somewhere, but you just don't want to deal with traffic, I think on Waze, you can actually pick and look like, okay, if I leave at this time, it's fast. Like there's options in there. You don't have to literally type it in and wait for that time of the day. There's options. You can pick the time of the day, and then you know what best time to go to do what you got to go do.
Cars start to pull up, and then I saw them back off. So, these things are so difficult to try and predict. It's nearly impossible. If you think you're going to figure out what's going to happen on a pursuit, we'll think again. It'd be like, winning the lottery. You just never seem to know, and you just never seem to know really how the police are going to approach it either. I mean, depending on the department, depending on, who the supervisor is, depending on how the driver is driving, the type of vehicle he's driving, the conditions, it's a sunny day today, but sometimes they're in rain. Depending on all those factors, so dynamic, it's really difficult to try and predict anything in a situation like this.
I mean, a good thing for cops, I guess, he's driving slow and not too crazy, even though he hit somebody already. And he's engaged multiple people, pedestrians. At least he's stopping, but he seems to have no purpose either.
We've been trying to piece it together completely. We know at 7:20 this morning there was an accident
early morning,
DeSoto and Lassen in Chatsworth. And that accident came back as a hit-and-run crash, and then the pursuit started. We don't know if the suspect may have been driving the vehicle in the initial accident and then stole this vehicle or not. We just haven't been able to really confirm that. That's when the pursuit started. About 20 minutes after the pursuit started, there was another accident at Sherman Way and Corbin. Then the Canoga Park area. We don't think there was a lot of damage in that crash. We saw a little bit of damage. There's another spike strip they're going to try here. You can see the officers trying to get in position. I think they might be a little late, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be tough.
When the suspect's driving this slow,
you got to hurry up.
He's just coming up on this right now. I don't think they're going to get position in time.
He's passing by.
They didn't quite make it. When they're driving this slow, the suspect can see them. And it makes it much more difficult. But getting back to after that initial accident, a stolen vehicle pursued. We believe this may be stolen. We don't know for sure. There was another crash. It wasn't a violent crash. There was only a little damage to the front of the vehicle. And that makes sense because the suspect hasn't been driving at a very high rate of speed. I think it's 4 times they've tried a spike strip. They've been on surveillance mode. They re-engaged, went back into a pursuit on the ground. During the whole time, they've had the LAPD helicopter overhead. Slow rate of speed right now on Victory Boulevard. Headed eastbound, stopping from time to time, extremely agitated, and we are hearing now from police. They believe he's driving under the influence of something.
Remember, we had that whippet chase, too. That guy was doing whippets. That chase lasted for hours. And he was literally doing whippets while the cops were after him. He would stop.
Yeah, it's not that easy, depending on how fast he's driving and depending on, where they're going to try and set it up. And like I mentioned before, it's a little difficult to find a really good spot. Now, we're coming up on Wilbur, and I believe they're going to try another spike strip right now. But unfortunately, open up wide for a second, if you will. If he stays in that left turn lane, you see the patrol car there in the center of his screen. It's going to be real difficult for them to get into traffic and do the spike strip there without him seeing it. But you can see they're ready. Traffic. Now, what happened last time in a situation like this, he's in the left turn lane, the suspect is. You see him right there. You can't really see the officers
yet. This is tough.
Last time this happened, he did a U-turn. But there's not a lot of room for a U-turn right here. I don't know, pulling that trailer, if he's going to be able to make a U-turn in one turn.
I wonder if he sees him, though, because he's kind of just stopped. He's not actually pulling all the way up.
They might be able to get him with a spike strip.
If I was that cop, I'd be crouching, too, though. He needs to crouch and let the guys radio to him when the thing is coming, because maybe he sees him.
He's seen the officers. The officer's getting ready to throw out the spike strip.
Oh, he's going to try to do it.
He's going to be able to get in front of him here, though.
He might run your ass over.
Oh, no! Just missed it. Missed it.
Oh, my God.
He might try and re-engage it again if he continues there, but...
the third...
Yeah, so close. And now, some more erratic behavior. I guess he's going to go northbound here on Wilbur.
Third missed spike. Third one. They're trying, but third missed spike.
Get right in front of this guy, and you can't blame him.
I think they need to be a little bit more... I mean, he sees them from a mile away coming. That's the problem with that. But I guess they have to control the traffic too. They have to stop
not
the
only
traffic.
that, I mean, they don't know. They probably know who this guy is. I don't know for sure. If he's an employee of the company, they know who he is. But if he's not, then they probably don't know who he is. But they've seen our shot. The helicopter's seen this guy.
I don't know how heavy those spike strips are, because from my thought, I thought they defunded all the materials for cops and shit. So I don't know what kind of material these things. So I would have thought they need a little bit more arm strength. They need to have those cops doing push-ups so they can actually toss the shit out there. I don't know how heavy it is.
Better if they know who the suspect is. If they could just get some idea, identify the suspect, then they might have a little better gauge
plastic
of what
strips,
they're dealing
plastic
with.
Spike strip,
but we don't know if they know that or not. I'm assuming if this individual is an employee of the concrete pumping company, Atomic, that they know who he is.
Oh, that'd be interesting if he's an ex-employee or some shit. Like maybe he's pissed. Maybe he got fired or something. He's taking that on the company.
Yeah. That's a blessing. That's a blessing because with that vehicle and that individual being under the influence of something, if he was driving around these corners at 60, 70, somebody get hurt or killed.
The chat is telling me it's the 5th missed spike. I don't know. Okay, I don't know where I'm at then. Okay, I thought it was the 3rd. The 5th.
That fear factor we get in some of those pursuits. When we look at these things, we're like, oh my goodness, somebody's going to get killed.
Damn.
We don't see that with this one, but they can't just let this go and not follow it. They're back into, it appears, just a tracking mode. Although we're hearing now it's about half a mile up ahead at Wilbur and Sherman Way. They're going to try another spike strip. So hopefully they'll be successful this time. If they can get the tires flat on this vehicle, it's so heavy, it'll go right down to the rim. And if he makes a turn here, see the spike strip they had set up was about, 3 blocks north of here. Now that he's made a turn onto Van Owen, that spike strip will not work. So now they're going to put a radio call out and try and set up another spot where they can try it. But if they're successful with it, this vehicle, is so heavy, I think it'll be down on the rim in no time.
Wow. Wow.
Hour and a half. Yep.
A slow speed chase. Lenore, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, good morning from Hoodland Hills, where rent is high, but our drivers are higher.
Yeah.
That's a good motto, logo.
Yeah, hopefully. It seems like it comes and goes with this guy, though. You'll see a pretty erratic behavior, and then you'll see him kind of calm. So, yeah, hopefully whatever he's under the influence of is wearing off a little bit, and he comes to his senses. Just a matter of, like, how long could this thing go? I mean, I'm just guessing, but, probably can't get more than, about 6 miles a gallon out of that vehicle. It's pretty heavy. It's towing something that's heavy. It probably has a pretty big fuel tank, but they probably talked to the company. They probably know how much fuel's in it. I believe LAPD would have that type of information. They'd want that. And so they may have an idea. Looks like we have another spike strip set up. This is going to be on Reseda Boulevard, I believe, and back at Van Owen. So they'll have another attempt here to try and get a spike strip. You see the suspect, we lost him for a moment there behind the trees, but he's headed on Van Owen towards Reseda Boulevard, and we'll see what happens here in just a moment. At least. So,
that'd be dope.
And he stopped. So you see him there. He just stopped. He's looking ahead. We'll push in to see how erratic this guy really is. If did he move away from the wheel for a moment? We saw him grabbing a bunch of stuff out of the back. And, yeah, Tony looks a little bit more calm than what we saw earlier, that's for sure. But from time to time, he just really starts reaching for things, jumping up and down in his seat, weaving back and forth, putting his hands in front of his face, putting his sunglasses on, taking them off, throwing them. He had a bottle in his hand. It looked like apple juice. He threw that out the window. Open up a bit, Marcel. I think we're coming up towards that spike strip here. If he continues, not too far. I think it's going to be right down at that intersection right there. Yeah, you see the patrol cars. So do they have them on both sides? Yeah, look at that. Turn it down a little bit. We may have a chyron there. They're on both sides. So hopefully they'll get him this time. He won't have much of a choice. It'd be hard to get around both of these with both sides of the street, and turning around with that vehicle is going to be really difficult. If they can get him past this one side street that he could turn on, If he doesn't see them, then he has no choice but to either turn around or continue.
How about he's scrambling through all his stuff? I don't know what he's doing. He's very, very erratic. I wonder if he's looking, like if he has drugs, maybe he's looking for a stash or something, or...
Yeah. Good word for it.
Oh, yeah, he is tweaking, dude. Wow. Oh, yeah, he got the sunglasses on, sunglasses off.
He just can't sit still. I mean, that's got to be the drugs, right? I mean, the guy just cannot sit still in that vehicle. We haven't seen a moment that we followed him that he was able to be relaxed. He's always fidgeting, perfect word, jumping around. We're coming up on this intersection, and unless the suspect turns into what's like a gas station, if he doesn't see the patrol cars and continues, they may get him with a spike strip here, but he does have an opportunity. I see. There's some road work up ahead, too, that forces him into one lane. Great catch there, Marcel. You see that road work right there? That's going to force him into one lane. And past the intersection, come to the intersection real quick. You can see where the road work is and even more of it. And it's going to be forced.
This time it's been a little more sneaky. They're trying to stand by the light poles. They're trying to stand behind it. Well, this one's kind of standing out in the open. He needs to kind of duck up a little bit. Oh, okay, here she is. She's kind of behind something, too. All right.
Lane, and he can't get out of it. I think they're going to get him right here with this.
All right. They're trying to pull some Metal Gear Solid. So they're trying to be a little bit more sneaky, a little bit more inconspicuous.
Yep.
Let's see how this shit works out.
Both sides of the intersection, they're hiding. They know this guy's MO right now. Each time he comes up towards something like this, he's able to swerve around, and he drives so slow. So if he turns here, he's going to get away from it. If he doesn't turn here, I think they got him. And there you go. It's going to be really difficult for him to get past this. There you go. They're going to get him. They got the
one.
right
I think
front.
they got one.
And there's another one here, so they're going to throw out another one right now.
Come on, baby. Come on, toss it. What's wrong with you?
Okay, you missed on that one. But I believe they got the right front. I believe they were worried about him coming into oncoming traffic there. And there's more road work up ahead. He's got to get into just the right lane. But we're going to get around to the other side. I'm pretty sure they got that right front tire, and that's going to make a huge difference in this pursuit.
He's speeding up now. Oh, well, now he's in a... That's too bad.
Yeah, or took the sweatshirt off if he had one on him. I'm not certain. Yeah, I'm not certain about that. Let's see if we can get around the other side and see if that tire is flat. It'll take a moment, but once that goes flat, I mentioned this is a heavy vehicle. That tire should come off fairly quickly and be right down to the rim. And then it would be much easier to put out a second spike strip because he just won't be able to maneuver it. And hopefully they got both right front and the right rear, but it didn't look like it to me. But hopefully got that right front, although it appears from this angle still to be inflated.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit. I didn't even see her. Yeah. I don't know if I blocked it. The right side. I don't think she even got it.
Shadow, but I think it. No, I think it is. I think they got it.
The left
looks
side.
To me like they got it. On Etowanda, slowly traveling southbound. Stopped for a moment. And what we're going to see also, if that tire is flat, we're going to see some erratic moving in the front of that vehicle. It's just going to start to swerve a little bit. And now right in the center lane there, we're in somewhat of a residential area. That's not good. And maybe now that's a pretty close call there. Now that the spike strip, if it did work, hopefully it doesn't make the suspect more desperate and he just start driving at a higher rate of speed and then have less control of the vehicle. Yeah, that'd be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
You popped the bottle, Jewel? Let me take a look. You tagged me on Insta?
It looked like they hit it.
Oh, I love it. I love this. This is beautiful. Oh, man, I wish I would have. This looks so nice. I wish I had mimosa right now. That's a mimosa you got there. I love that. I'm going to share that and show them, too.
Another one set up?
Oh, I love this shit. Let's go. Oh, let me make myself bigger for a second. Oh, no. Oops.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, of course. They're going to try another one here in a moment. I can't believe they missed the last one. It looks like they got him. Maybe it's just going to take a while for that tire to completely run down. Maybe it's a run flat or something, although you would think it'd be flat by now. They're going to try another one right now, and these are small little streets here in Kittredge. They may be able to get in front of them, force them into an area, and get the spike strip out once again. So I don't know if this was the intersection. I think they talked about this intersection, but I don't see them getting set up in time. If they are hiding
the spike
around the corner, they might be able to get them. Yeah, they just didn't get there in time. We heard the call go out, and fortunately, you push in all the way in. Is that tire flat?
I think it is.
Yeah, yeah. It looks flat to me, Tony. It looks like they got it. So it's going to make it much more difficult for the suspect to continue.
I think that's the only tire they got, though.
And do another spike strip. That'll also, sort of slow the vehicle, if you will, as far as how fast the suspect will be able to drive and won't be able to drive as fast. He won't be able to control the vehicle as well, that's for sure, and they may be able to do another spike strip. But you can tell they got him. They're talking about doing more spike strips in some of these intersections. It's right down to the rim almost. He's going to lose control of the vehicle pretty soon. It's going to be real hard to maneuver that truck once it's right down to the rim.
Imagine he stopped and can he disconnect this manually himself, or do he need somebody is it all he has to do is pull a little thing out of it, right? Imagine if he stopped the vehicle and
and what really worries you, what's our speed here, Marcel? Because if he's getting desperate because it's flat, we're 40 miles an hour, but into oncoming traffic, there's another spike strip they tried to put out. That's the same intersection we were at a moment ago. They got him. They got him. Oh, they got the rear this time.
And it's wrapped up in there.
So that's a set of doubles, 2 tires back there. The spike strip got wrapped up in there, but that's good. So you're going to have all the tires on the right side of this vehicle flat.
Right,
and the suspect, they want to get that spike strip out of there.
They missed a lot, but the teamwork is dope. I kind of like seeing the teamwork. They're trying, they're coordinating, they're stopping traffic. There's a lot of shit going on.
That's the second time he came back to the same intersection. Now, not only is the right front flat, we should see the 2 tires on the right rear go flat here in a moment as well.
I wonder if the cops get an adrenaline rush out of that, or is it? I don't know. Get it, go, yeah, we got it, yeah. I wonder if there's people back at the office, or they're just kind of calm and quiet. What does it sound like over there? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. No, it'll slowly go right down to the rim, though. It just takes time. That tire's just going to come off. If you travel at a higher rate of speed, it'll come off quicker, obviously, with more friction, and sometimes they even catch on fire. We are hearing now they're not certain if that spike strip actually deployed, if it flipped over and got that rear tire.
Team sport for them, yeah. I was kind of curious. Donut for everyone. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that front tire is kind of.
All right, copy.
Bruh. Rear tire deflating.
Oh, they got the driver's side rear.
Really?
The left rear.
Good morning, rise and shine. What a way to start the day. Glad I'm waking up earlier now. Wow. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button, please. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. Wow. Was he waving down the guy? I really wonder what's going to happen to when they finally get this vehicle to stop. Is this guy just going to comply? Is he going to take off on a mad run, mad dash? Sunglasses back on. You know what they say about sunglasses, right? Oh, no, this is daytime. I was about to say it. I wear my sunglasses at night. When I used to go to Space in Miami, it's dark inside. Everybody got sunglasses. You know what's up, right? Everybody's turned up.
Oh, went up over the curb there.
Eyes rolling in the back of their head and shit. I got my sunglasses at night.
Yeah, we know we have a flat on the right front. They got the spike strip on the right front, and now we understand, according to LAPD, they believe it's the left rear that's going to go flat next. That the spike strip did deploy, and they're going to get the left rear to go flat. We don't see an indication of that yet, but it takes a moment or two. And if that becomes the case, it's going to be real difficult for the suspect to maintain control. But with one tire down to the rim, the right front, and speeds at 50 miles an hour here on Lindley Avenue in Reseda, it's gotten pretty dangerous. Before he was traveling like 9 miles an hour, could see the patrol cars. Now he's going to lose control of this vehicle because of the flat in the right front. And if we loses the left rear, we can push in tight. If that goes flat like we think it's going to be really hard to control this vehicle. It'll be really hard to maintain speed. And it does look like slowly it may be going flat, but unfortunately, Tony, we're seeing higher rates of speed, the kind of thing that really concerns us in pursuits like this.
He's defying logic and physics. He's actually going faster and has better control somehow of the vehicle.
Trailer, and you've got speeds almost 60 miles an hour on Lindley Avenue in Reseda, and a suspect who's desperate, he's fidgeting, he's under the influence of something, according to the LAPD, and a more and more dangerous situation, coming to fruition here as we watch this.
What if some weird balancing effect happens? The front tire, one of the front tires are deflated, I guess, and one of the rears on the opposite side, so it somehow creates this weird equilibrium where he's actually driving better and safer, and is able. I don't know. I don't think that should happen, but that driver's side rear though doesn't look like it's deflating to me. Yeah, I guess it looks like that. I guess they missed it. Maybe. I don't think that shit's going down. Is that what they said? Like it didn't deploy? I guess the spike strip didn't deploy. Somehow he's driving faster and safer.
Yeah, you don't see it in the shot. The right front for sure is flat. It's right down to the rim. We did hear, though, that they thought on the last spike strip that they threw out that they got the left rear, but I don't really see that the left rear is going flat. So that may not be the case. So they just have the right front, from what we can tell at this point in time. Staying in about the same area here on Victory Boulevard in Tarzana. We've been mostly in Tarzana, Canoga Park. It all started up in Chatsworth about 7:20 this morning, and it hasn't been an extremely high-speed pursuit, but the suspect's been very erratic, fidgeting inside there. As we mentioned earlier, they say under the influence of something, and that the suspect just can't sit still. When he does come to stops, though, if there's a pedestrian out, he seems to try and engage them. He's like, hey, come here, come here.
Yeah.
There's going to be another spike strip, we think, right here at this intersection. There you go. You see the patrol car, and you see what they're going to do is try and hide until the last moment. If they can get the suspect to stay in that right lane and continue towards that intersection. He's in the center lane right now, but the right lane would be better because you can't get too far around that. Although he does appear to be a little hesitant, as if, hey, this happened to me last time in a construction zone, and that's where you got me. So it's difficult to get the spike strip out when the suspect's driving this slow. They really don't want to run right in front of him, but they are going to try another attempt here. One worked. The right front tire is flat, and they're hoping to get another one so they can get this pursuit to come to an end.
Oh, well, I think they're stopped. Is he picking up on something? He's moving around a lot. Oh, boy. Okay, they are stopped. Let me see. How are they hiding? Let's see what they're doing this time. Were they in the trees or something? Oh, okay. He's kind of by the pole. I mean, not really a great job at hiding, but yeah, I guess maybe he won't see him.
Is he putting his sweater back on?
This is crazy, bro. How many spike strips now? Are we at 7? They got 1 spike strip out of 7 total. This is the same ball cop with a spike strip. Oh, what a morning, man. What if we're here till like the press conference? Christina, thank you for the stars. Facebook.
Yeah. Yep, coming up on another intersection. You see the officer trying to get out, probably about right now. There he goes.
He's running. Let's go, baby.
They really doesn't want to get right in front of the guy.
Careful. Let's go, baby.
Nice job.
And the same time. Oh, is the rear one the rear one?
Oh, they got the back this time. It looks like that one deployed.
That was a good one.
It would have been nice if they got both of the front tires. They already had the right front, but they it appears, once again, after about 7 attempts, 2 have been successful. It looks like that one was successful to get the right rear tire. 8. And, slowly but surely, you mentioned, Irene, the gas mileage. It's hard to say, it's not going to get much, and it's hard to say how much fuel is in it. I have to believe that LAPD's talked to the company. They know about how much, but the gas mileage and the time that this guy can keep going goes way down when you're driving on a rim and not a tire. So if they did get the right rear, hopefully we can get this thing to come to an end without incident. There was one accident during the pursuit. We don't think it was a bad one. A little damage to the front of the truck. We believe that could be stolen. We haven't been able to confirm that. It might have been stolen after a traffic accident at 7:20 this morning up in Chatsworth at DeSoto and Lassen. We heard that was a hit and run, and then we heard a stolen vehicle. We're just trying to put 2 and 2 together, and we're probably coming up with 5 because that's how it happens most of the time. But now we see the suspect just stopping. And, oh boy, making a left turn in front of another vehicle, pushing them into oncoming traffic. And, boy, that's what they don't want to see, right? It just gets dangerous. Fortunately, he's not traveling at a high rate of speed, but it's certainly erratic, this individual, and under the influence of something.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the 14 months. Is the same officer is now 2 for 2 with the spike strip. Amazing. Yada, yada. Thank you for the 4-month membership. Yo, oh, yeah, 14 months. Amazing. Thank you, yada, yada. 4 months. This is Good Morning, Mel.
Well, he hasn't been on any freeways as far as we know. There's been one crash that was at Sherman Way and Corbin with this vehicle, not the original hit and run, which may have been with other vehicles. Jesus. And I did not see that accident occur. Lord. It doesn't appear to me that there's a lot of damage.
He stopped her, and she's going. They have no idea what's going on. Wow. Wow.
It's going to get very difficult now that it gets down to the rim. And if the right rear goes as well, and it looks like that spike strip was going to get the right rear, then it's going to be really hard to maneuver this vehicle because the back will be dragging, and then you have the extra weight of that concrete pumper. And that thing weighs a lot. That's a big engine that pumps concrete. It's got to be a diesel engine with a lot of horsepower because concrete is heavy. You see those tubes in the back, the tubing in the back of that truck, and the concrete gets pumped through that to get to the back of a house or get to an area where a cement truck can't get. And it's hard to tell yet if the right rear is flat. Sometimes it takes a moment. But we believe, it looked like that last attempt got it. It's just so hard to tell in the shadow there if they got the right rear.
Wow. Emily, well, I suppose that was nice of him. He's so polite and thoughtful.
Yeah, of the spike strips, we thought 3 of them hit. One definitely did, and then the last one, I thought for sure they got it. But, the way that spike strip is, when they throw it out, it still has to be upright. If it flips over on its side, then it's not going to work. And then also the officer is very aware of the fact that he's got to get it out real quick because the patrol cars behind it or other vehicles they don't want running over that spike strip. So it's just not easy in any case. We're not hearing about another one set up. I think they believed that they got the right rear. That's what we heard. They believe it was successful, and it may just take a little more time for that to go flat. But we don't see any indication right now that they did get it. We don't see it going flat. And, driving at this slow a pace, they're not going to ruin the rim. I've seen some pursuits in the past. If the suspect drives at a high rate of speed, that rim will just disintegrate. It'll just go right down to the axle, and then the vehicle can't move at all. But you could probably keep going like this for some time, but you certainly can't go very fast, and then you do lose some of the ability to maneuver the vehicle. What scares you is if he does get the vehicle going at a pretty high rate of speed and then does not have control of it, we could see an accident, and that's just what we don't want to see.
Lord almighty. Jessica, thank you so much for 7 months. Love you, Mel. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good day. Amazing. We're starting off great today. I hope we'll see what happens, how this ends. Respectful.
Yeah, it's because of the vehicle and the trailer that it's pulling. Even if it was just that truck, they wouldn't use a pit maneuver. The patrol cars behind it just don't have enough weight to try and hit the back of just the truck. not taking into account the trailer itself, and so they probably wouldn't do a pit maneuver on this vehicle regardless. It's just too heavy. It's too low to the ground. Center of gravity is low, but with that trailer behind it, you just can't do a pit maneuver. You can see what would happen. The trailer would flip and spin, and if that comes unhitched from the truck and then hits another vehicle, we just have so much traffic here, it just wouldn't be safe for the surrounding people, for the pedestrians, for the other motorists. So it appears to me, and I'm no expert at this, but it appears to me the pit maneuver is not an option in this one.
Damn, bro. So we're still going. This is where we've been here an hour and 40 minutes, about
20 to 25 minutes, depending on where it's at.
Oh, what does that mean? How much time they have left? Hopefully the other chopper comes back too. But this chase was going a little, I think maybe 10 minutes before we started. So I mean, it's almost going on, or 10 or 15 minutes, almost going on 2 hours now. They've been after this guy. Multiple spike strip attempts. This person hit a car. 2 people chased them down. What? 2 people chased them down. Baby, just walk over. It's okay. Stand up. She's trying to like sneak by. You're good, baby. You're good. Don't worry.
Yeah, didn't get the rear though.
So yeah, I don't know, man. This guy. And I wonder what kind of drug, what drug, I mean, what is it? Meth would do something like this, I guess. And that stuff lasts for a long time, I guess. How often do the people on meth need to re-up? How long before the side effects start wearing out? Nancy Cruz, thank you for the 16 months. Amazing. I appreciate the members so much. Thank you guys for resubscribing.
No, I don't think that we are. I don't know that we will. I'm sure the LAPD has that. I'm sure they've talked to the company. What we're seeing now, though, with that right front tire down to the rim, it's becoming extremely difficult for the vehicle to get going, right? To really get going at any rate of speed. Once it gets going in speed, it can pick up more and more speed. But the initial start, right off the stop there, is very difficult. Also seeing the suspect engaging anyone who will engage him. See that individual there? He has no idea what's going on. But the suspect wants to talk to everybody. Every time he stops and he sees someone, he tries to engage him. There may be some mental health issues.
And I wonder what he's asking these people.
Sometimes that individuals on the street, they just want to talk. They just want to get it out. We do know they believe he's under the influence of something. Can you pull out? Is this the same intersection we were in before?
Oh, in a parking lot. This is where cops can get him. Someone in the chat says, I was addicted to meth. It lasts for hours. Wow.
Behind off to the left. They may do another spike strip here. They're going to be very aware of the fact that you have people walking around, so they're going to take it easy. But the suspect is starting to lose control of that vehicle a little bit. It's very hard to make the turns. The tire is almost completely gone.
I thought they're about to go into the building for a second, bro.
More and more difficult to control.
Mental health. Quoting meth. Incognito, thank you so much for the 3 months memberships. Appreciate that for resubscribing. Says what a great way to start the day.
This is going to be tough, Tony, because if he's going to make a turn here, he's going to have to go through traffic. Open up a little bit. If he's going to make the right turn that he's trying to make, he's going to have to go through that traffic, and the vehicle just doesn't start that quickly. So we'll see if we get a break in traffic enough for him to make that maneuver and pull out in front of traffic and then get into the lane that he wants to get into to go. Basically, would be northbound here. But you can tell it becomes a lot more difficult to drive this vehicle.
You notice the cops right there?
The right front is flat. It's unfortunate the left front or the left rear didn't hit. We thought it had, but it doesn't appear that spike strip worked.
Didn't hit?
So I think they've done 7. And they were successful with 1, but certainly that's they're getting the profits from that now because it's becoming very difficult for the suspect to continue. It looks like.
And the cops are right there in the parking lot. I love that picture that you sent me. Safe story. Jeweled monkey. It's a dope. I love that.
Let's open up a minute, Marcel. I just want to see where the patrol cars are. You saw the LAPD helicopter just fly through, and you see there the patrol cars in a line with 5 of them or so following slowly behind. So they haven't gone, completely to tracking mode like we'd seen before. This is like a partial tracking mode, right?
The cops.
The suspect can barely see these guys. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're in what they call a tracking mode because they're just not letting the suspect see them. Giving the suspect maybe some false sense that they're not behind him or they don't know where he is. Because we do see him looking out the door all the time, looking back, engaging people on the shoulder, and just fidgeting, jumping up and down inside there basically. Just can't sit still. You can tell it really appears that he's under the influence of something. But they backed off a bit. Maybe they're content right now with him being just on the rim for him to drive until that vehicle is just not drivable any longer. At some point in time, more than likely the rim will collapse, and once you're down on the axle, then you're not going to drive at all.
So one tire, I guess then. One tire has deflated or deflating.
No, we really don't. We haven't got any information from the LAPD either. Obviously they've got a very good look. It looks like, it wasn't hot enough for him, so he put his sweatshirt back on. We saw the sweatshirt on, then we saw him take the sweatshirt off, and now we see him put the sweatshirt back on. There's another spike strip. Looks like he got around that one, though.
Another miss?
It appeared to me that they were able to get him with that one.
Where are we at? 8 or 9 attempts? I do need a counter, right? I'm going to have to get something so we can have a little counter on the top next time. I know T-Bag was saying that.
Because there's, probably 30 or 40 patrol cars all aware this is going on, all in the same area. And they've got the patrol cars with the spike strips in this area for this specific reason right now. So they can throw them out. I'm assuming we're going to see more of that until they get more of the tires flat. And then that will end this. Irene, we saw him throw what appeared to be a jar or a bottle of apple juice out the window.
I don't think that was apple juice.
But no indication as to what might be in there. There was a vest Tony was talking about. We were speculating, if he does work for that company, maybe that vest is, something he puts on when he gets to the job site. That's just pure speculation, though. We have no idea. We did see the vest inside there. We've seen him, with the dark sweater on, then take it off, and now put it back on. And it's gotten warmer.
He looks like Andrew Tate.
You're obviously dealing with an extremely unstable individual here. There's no doubt about that.
I just can't imagine this being a good high. I don't know what meth is like, but I just can't imagine this is an enjoyable high. I mean, maybe he's just out of control right now. He can't control himself, but oh, look at that thing. It's just ripped up. Ooh, the tire. I wonder if the adrenaline and the rush adds to his high, though. He's already stimulated if he's on
That's correct. I mean, it's got to hit. We saw it hit the tire. We saw the tire roll over, and it didn't work. It didn't engage properly. So they've got to get it out there, and they've got to get it so the spikes are sticking up in the right way so it doesn't just roll over it and not puncture the tire. But it's not easy when the suspect's driving at 6 to 7 miles an hour, and he almost comes to a stop at every intersection. If you can imagine if he's doing the speed limit of 45 or 40 or whatever it is in this area, and then they hide and they throw it out real quick, if they could stop traffic behind them so they don't.
Air Fry Recipes, thank you so much for the membership. It's Me Coffee says, I need that apple juice. Yeah, I need some of whatever apple juice he's sipping on to start my mornings. Just a little sip, though. I don't want to drink too much of whatever he has. But he's very cognizant of what's going on. Even though he's all over the place and seems to be high, when he's coming up to these intersections, he stops way ahead of time. Way before oh, shit. He's getting out?
Gets out of the vehicle.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
Oh, he opened up the door. What was he doing? I thought about. Oh, Allah. I that's what I'm saying. At least he's not running through red lights or being aggressive towards people that he sees. He's trying to interact with people and talk with them, but.
Yeah, he's aware that they're putting spike strips out. There's no doubt about that because he slows down at every intersection.
That's what
I'm saying.
I
don't know if he's traveling this slow because he's having a hard time getting the vehicle moving or if he's just traveling this slow because he wants to do that. But it's going to be very difficult to accelerate when you have one tire down to the rim. And as I mentioned earlier, what happens is there's so much weight in this vehicle that as time goes on, if he continues to drive just a little faster than this, lots of times we'll see the tire will come off completely, then you're down to the rim. The rim sometimes even starts to spark and catches a fire. Usually have to be traveling at a high rate of speed for that to happen. And then eventually that rim just gives way. I mean, you can't drive on the rim forever. It'll snap, it'll crack. And once that happens, the vehicle's pretty much can't be driven. And look at that. See when he hits the brake?
Wow.
So when things like that happen, it's just a matter of time before that rim's going to give up altogether.
Wow. Gypsy Girl, thank you for the 7 months. Amazing. He's coming back towards my house. Oh, shoot. You live in that area? Okay. Yo, that Carly Russell thing, I can't wait till later. I'm so curious. I hope we get some answers. Something. Amazing, man. I can't believe what turned out today, bro. This is so crazy. Wow. Only in California. Cali shit. Only in Cali. Why do I look like that? You can tell it's
also getting much more difficult for this vehicle to continue to move. I want to show you out. It's too far. I won't pull out that far. But if you go about a block and a half away, you've got a half a dozen patrol cars. And I think what they're trying to do is just stop some of the traffic on Ventura Boulevard so people don't drive up next to them. It's inevitable. You can't stop all of it. But you see on the left side of your screen right there are the patrol cars. So they're trying to stop traffic on Ventura going westbound. There's some traffic they can't stop, like from these surface streets or the parking lots onto Ventura Boulevard. But they're trying to keep as many people away from him as possible. And then they want to be right behind him if this comes to a stop and he makes a run for it. They'd like to get him into custody, but obviously it's getting more and more difficult for the suspect to continue down on that one rim at this point in time. And it's inevitable at some point this is going to end. And, we've been watching it now, as you mentioned, for 2 hours. There was one traffic collision, but we don't think anybody's been hurt. And as far as danger to the public, there's another spike strip. And it's hard to say. They may have got, that left rear. That would be nice.
He didn't see that?
Yep.
Wow. Let's see what.
Yeah.
Amy, thank you so much.
We understand they call it good spike. That's what they call it. It's good spike.
They got it.
So they think they got it, but we heard that on the last one too, and they didn't have it. So we're going to have to see. But that one looks successful. I think if they've got the right front and the left rear, this vehicle is going to have a real hard time going anywhere fast. And, it doesn't appear the suspect has any indication he's just going to give himself up. I mean, unless maybe the drugs wear off, if that's what this is all about. But it's going to be tough to keep this going if they did get that left rear tire and then the right front is already down to the rim. But we just hope this ends without incident and nobody gets hurt. As of right now, we don't think anybody's been hurt in this 2-hour-long pursuit, except for the initial accident that we don't know a lot about that happened at 720 up at DeSoto and Lassen in Chatsworth. We don't think, or we don't know for sure, but it may not be this was the vehicle involved in that accident. This vehicle may have been stolen. Pure speculation. We're just trying to piece things together. We don't know for sure, but we just know it was a hit-and-run incident, and then we know it was a stolen vehicle. We believed in the pursuit, or one of the vehicles in the accident was a stolen vehicle. So it's hard. LAPD is not really interested in giving us that because they got so much other things to worry about, and you understand that. So we haven't been able to piece it all together, but if they did get the left rear, and I think they did because you see the vehicle swerving a bit, then I think this may be over soon.
He is swerving left and right. Uh-oh. Amy, thank you so much for those 10 memberships you gifted. So kind of you. Make sure you guys check out the front page of my YouTube page. I have a members area. I have my acid story from 2010. Crazy ass story. I think my mushroom story is on there too. I moved there. There's a couple other stories as well. If you want to check those out. If you're not going to renew, you're just going to hang out for a month. Of course, if you renew, I appreciate it. But if not, just get the videos while you're there. Wow. Mamma mia. What a day. We're coming back later too, guys. Don't forget, we're coming back at 3 p.m. Eastern. which is 2 p.m. Central.
Yeah, let's hope not much further, right? That's enough of this. And we just, like I said before, I mean, you follow these things. There's no rhyme and reason to them ever, but you just don't want anyone to get hurt. We're on Ventura Boulevard, headed westbound into the Woodland Hills area, coming up on Winnetka. For the most part, the entire time, it started in Chatsworth. It's been in the Woodland Hills, Canoga Park area for the most part. And making a left turn here, I think what we're going to see is it's just going to be extremely difficult to maneuver and to control that truck if we do have the left rear flat. We haven't been able to get to that side and confirm it yet. We're working on that, but there's a lot of other aircrafts up here in the LAPD, and we have to have separation. So sometimes we can't get exactly where we want to get, but you can tell by the way it's sliding there. You see it's kind of sliding? I'm pretty sure that left rear tire is right down to the rim as well. So I really have a feeling they're going to be able to stop this soon, or this vehicle is just not going to be able to continue. And it's really weird how he engages individuals. When he gets next to an individual, he engages, tries to talk to them.
Up the road.
And I don't know what these two people are doing right here in front of him.
Oh, yeah, what
if
are they doing?
Really think they're trying to intervene and stop traffic. That's not a good idea. I don't know if that's the case, but look what it did to the suspect. It just made him speed up. Let's push into that and see if they got it.
Let's block him.
It's really hard to tell. Did they get maybe a tire on the trailer as well? Not. Hopefully they got that left rear. It looks like it might be going down slowly, but it's just so hard to tell. And they may have just got the inner one and not the outer one. I think there's 2 tires on that double rim there. But you could tell when those individuals
Look at him,
tried
he's taking pictures. Look at that, he's taking pictures.
He took off, and now you see somebody next to him. It looks like they're filming him. So I tell you, when these pursuits, they go on for a while. A lot of people want to get out and get involved, and it's not a good idea.
For the gram. Got to get it for the gram, baby.
No.
Roxanne. All she wanna do is sort of all night. I don't wanna pay, I just wanna pay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, drugs are psychosis, right? I mean, a lot of times, if you have a psychotic individual, they're going to try and start a conversation about nothing. That could be the case, but unfortunately, even though we heard good spike, push into that right rear. I mean, I don't see it flat yet. Maybe it's headed that direction, but once that goes completely flat, if it does seem to be wobbling a bit. So hopefully that's going to be.
There he is again. There's again.
That's really going to deter where the suspect can go. But Irene,
what's this guy driving? A BMW or something? Looks like a nice car. Oh, boy.
You try and intervene. You try and stop this. You can get arrested for that. They don't want you anywhere near that. And if you have any sense whatsoever, you're not going to.
He's speeding up.
Is this BMW right here trying to speed up and take more pictures? It almost looks like it.
For the gram, bro.
Yeah.
Exclusive content. Yeah, bro. Look at this. He's sitting in the passenger side. Somebody's in the passenger side. Who's there?
Yeah, not recommended. Not smart, but everybody wants to get wants to get the picture. And there he goes.
Get them close, baby.
He's going to shoot with a phone, and boy, you just never know. I mean, he just may ram that vehicle just out of spite.
That's a nice car. That's a nice car.
Doing that. It's not good. Push all the way into the tire. Unfortunately, I don't see the left rear going flat.
He stopped.
A little flat, but we don't see it all the way down. So hopefully it's slowly going to go all the way down, because that'll really restrict the maneuverability of this vehicle and hopefully stop this pursuit. Open up a little bit now that he's stopped, if you would, Marcel. Just want to get an idea what's going on. So
look at the tow truck. They're back there slowly.
It looks like, is that a G-Wagon or a Jeep?
G-Wagon.
That's the same two vehicles that were in front of them before. It's a Jeep. And the same tow truck. Remember they tried to stop them a moment ago? So there's a lot of people in here on Ventura Boulevard that are basically engaging this thing. They shouldn't, but they are. And then you see the LAPD cruisers behind them, maybe 100 yards or so now. They've moved up a little bit. So they haven't gone completely away from tracking mode. They're still engaged somewhat, and then they have the helicopter overhead. And you could tell he continues to look back.
He's waiting for the cops.
Just hope that tire in the right rear there, or the left rear there, goes flat
what?
soon.
I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all gonna do something or what? I don't know. This is interesting. All right, let's see what happens now. Still going.
15.
Why am I not? So they want to pass them. So they want to paper. Roxanne.
Yeah.
Tesla. Look like a Tesla. Was that the same car?
Slow rate of speed. He's continuing on. We don't see a flat on that left rear like we thought we would. And if that was the case, I really thought that maybe this would come to an end pretty soon. But with just the right front and driving at this rate of speed, he could probably continue on for a long time. I follow a lot of pursuits when they're on a rim and they're traveling at a high rate of speed. That rim does not hold up for long. But when you're just barely moving like this, you could probably go on way too long. And there comes a BMW again. It's the same knucklehead that was trying to get some pictures. But every time we see people out, this suspect really does try and engage with the individuals. Every time he tries to get some gestures going, tries to talk to whoever is on the shoulder. And in a lot of cases, when we follow these pursuits, and almost all of them, we see the suspects on the phone. This individual hasn't been. We talked about how erratic he's been inside the cab of this truck, looking out, pointing down, gesturing at people, throwing bottles out, grabbing something from the back, looking at the tires, looking back at the police, and not for one moment does he sit still. So he's fidgeting, he's very nervous, he's, obviously, as you mentioned, according to the police, they believe he's under the influence of something. Well, we've seen a couple of close calls. We've seen him go into oncoming traffic, but it's such a low rate of speed. It wasn't like we were, thinking, oh, my goodness, somebody's going to die here. He did make a couple of maneuvers and, pulling that trailer. The trailer went up onto the curb. We know at one point there was an accident during the pursuit at Sherman Way and Corbin. We haven't seen anything that really got our attention like, my goodness, because of the rate of speed hasn't been that high. But that's no indicator that might not happen here sometime soon if this individual gets desperate or more desperate. But it looks like that right rear tire, or I should say the left rear tire, the one on the right side of your screen, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going flat to me.
Phase,
it is.
Bro.
It's doing it awful slowly.
Hockey Mama, thank you for the 3-month membership. Love you, Mel. How's he still going? I don't know, man. Dedication, determination, willpower, resilience, God.
They initially tried several times on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Those were all unsuccessful. At this point in time, we only believe of the 7 or 8 that they tried, one was successful, and it's not easy for them to deploy it in some situations. The first indication is when they missed it the first time, this guy is aware that they're trying to do it. So every time he comes up on an intersection, he drives slow. When they did it on Topanga Canyon Boulevard, he was able to maneuver around, and Topanga was big enough he could even make a U-turn when he saw they were in front of him. So he saw a lot of activity like that. LAPD has patrol cars in this whole area. We're in Woodland Hills right now on Ventura Boulevard. For the most part, it's all been on the West Valley, and more than likely they're going to do some more spike strips. But the officers don't want to get right in front of the vehicle. I mean, there's a couple of things they're worried about. He could gun it. He could try and hit the officer. He could just swerve towards the officer and say, I'm going to hit that guy. They don't want an officer to get hurt. Second, we don't know if the suspect's armed. We don't know if he could get out of the vehicle and open fire on the officer. So there's a lot of dynamics here. There's a lot of things going on that you can't predict. And so it's just not as easy as, hey, man, throw that thing out in front of the tire. It just doesn't work that way. You'd like to think it does. And, now there's another factor, and that's that the public are getting involved. They're pulling up trying to engage this guy. And it just makes it harder for law enforcement because they got to worry about the public as well, and now they're getting next to this individual who could be very dangerous.
See how far the cops are behind. I'm curious. Oh, well, they backed off?
Yep.
Maybe they got the chopper following. Damn, this guy, he's been going for a while. Rob said, what happened to the days of just shooting out the tires? And social awareness, I guess, and wokeness. I guess maybe the danger. Yo, BMW.
Thank you.
What are they calling for? This is crazy that this is still going. Holy moly.
Yeah, Irene and Tony, we just heard that they're calling out SWAT. So they may bring an armored vehicle out, and they may believe that with the armored vehicle they can get in front of them. Did you just throw something out, or is that a piece of the tire? Look at a piece of tire. You don't see it in the. Yeah, you don't see it in this shot, but the right front. We went to this side because we thought the left rear was hit with a spike strip, but the right front tire is gone. It's just on the rim. If you're just joining us, but we do understand that SWAT's been called, and they may bring the armored vehicle out to try and stop this. It looks like, though, if the suspect continues with what he's doing right now, he's not a huge threat to people out on the road, and that's good, because a lot of these pursuits we follow are just so dangerous, they scare you.
Have a lady walk in front of him and flash him. That might stop him. That might pique his attention. I think we're gonna need a backup feed. Let me see. Okay. Oh, let me see. Is Fox back on it? Let me take a look. Okay, Fox is back on it, so we got the backup feed for Fox. They're saying on Twitter that this. Who said that? Let me see. They might be running out of fuel soon.
Oh, door's open. Hopefully he gets out here. We've seen that a couple of times. That's the second time, Irene, we've seen him open the door. This continue on. He's just so erratic. There's no way of knowing what's going on inside this guy's head. What he may or may not do. You can see by this shot, we're on Ventura Boulevard, just crossing Shoup, and in the Woodland Hills area. But LAPD's backed off again. Like I said, they did call in SWAT, but I don't think that's going to be an immediate thing. I think that's going to take some time before they really get deployed and get out here. And hopefully it'll be over by then. But look at all the tread that's coming off. It's almost gone completely, and then I think even at this speed,
is that smoking?
Eventually, that rim is going to collapse. And when it does collapse, it could start a fire. You see the smoke? The cab could start on fire. That'll get them out. Or the rim will collapse, and once that happens, you just can't drive the vehicle at all. And
we've seen that before. I think it was like a truck where the tires were bare like that. Out of nowhere, the inside of the cabin started lit up on fire. The guy had to run out. The whole shit was on fire.
Go completely down to the rim, but hopefully this will just be over soon. We're still on Ventura Boulevard, slowly headed westbound through the Woodland Hills area.
Janie's got a gun. Boy, man, what a week or two of weird stories, and we got Rudy, we got Carly, we got this guy. I'm gonna switch to Fox in a bit. I think. Oh no, Fox is using the same feed. Oh no, they're not. I think it's different, right? I like the view right now that this channel has. Air 7. I think they have a.
Yeah, well, fortunately, he stops at the red lights, so he doesn't want to kill himself. And now you have the patrol cars right behind him, so it's been really interesting to watch this pursuit as far as what the police strategy is. 1 minute they're tracking mode, the next minute they're right behind them, the next minute every intersection they're trying to get a spike strip out. Now they're calling out SWAT. Of course, the helicopter's overhead. If he gets low on fuel, they'll call in another one. So they'll definitely keep the helicopter on this individual. Stopping at red lights, and then it's difficult for the vehicle to get going. There's a lot of drag when you don't have a right front tire. So the initial startup of the vehicle. And Marcel, it looks to me like that one's getting a little flat on the right rear as well. So it looks to me, I don't know if to you guys or it's just a shadow, but it appears to me that's getting flat. And if that happens, then it's going to be really difficult for the vehicle to move at all, okay, because it's a rear-wheel drive truck. And if you get that rear tire down to the rim and the front tire down to the rim, it's going to be hard to get up any type of speed. It's also going to be hard to control the vehicle. And we're not seeing a very high rate of speed at all anymore, and that may be one of the reasons.
Yeah, that rim. It has it live in case. Okay. We have a backup in case because I think these people, they're going to run out of fuel soon. And so, I mean, let's see. Oh, and Fox just kind of cut it. I think we need another. Who's channel 9? I think we need a backup in case, too. We need another backup. Let me see what else we got.
Yeah, slowly but surely, it's going to be more and more difficult to drive this vehicle. And it's encouraging that the right rear is going flat as well. It's really going to make it more difficult. Open up for a moment, Marcel. I can't see.
Skycal is back, too. So we got Skycal.
Yeah, they're pretty much following right behind. I don't see a spike strip up ahead, another one, but we could get one. And fortunately, there's not a lot of volume right here on Ventura Boulevard headed westbound. There's been a lot of construction on this, so I think a lot of folks avoid it. Not only that, Ventura Boulevard unit at some point ends once you hit Valley Circle. And then that'll be, you could get on the freeway at this point in time, but it'd be a...
KCal is Channel 9. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I have it on the other screen, so we're good to go in case they got to leave.
Can't even guess them. And every time you try and guess what they might do,
they actually have a nice view.
You're going to be wrong.
We might switch to KCal.
It's good that it's going slow. It's good that they made progress with getting more of the tires flat. And it's good that we don't see really any danger to the public. And as far as we know, no one's been hurt. So that's good as far as pursuits go as well. Push into that tire, Marcel. It looks like it's almost all the way down now onto the rim. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time at this point in time.
Oh, the other one's going down too.
Before this is over. I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
I can do something for you guys.
Once that goes down to the rim, it's really going to be difficult to control this truck.
What I like about this view we have right now is we can see these tires. I'm kind of curious to see how they're tearing up. But let me see if I can give you another view as well.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends on so many factors, depending on how they cover it. It depends on the agency. It depends on the supervisor who's telling the officers exactly how they're going to proceed. We're seeing them speed up a little bit, and we're going to end up at Valley Circle here in a moment. They don't have any units at Valley Circle. When we see higher speeds, though, like we're seeing here for the moment, that just means more pressure on those tires and the rims, and it could indicate they're not going to be able to control the vehicle. You see some swerving there. Not sure if he's doing it on purpose, but you can see having a very difficult time controlling this truck. Now, this is Valley Circle. If he continues with a right turn there, we'll be going back northbound, so back up into the Woodland Hills area. But we do have all the officers still right behind him at this point in time. And just to give you guys an indication, we have probably another 5 minutes maximum before we're going to have to break for fuel ourselves. And we're hoping he runs out of fuel before we do.
That sucks. When you're up there and you're following this, I can't imagine being in the chopper and it's like, damn, we got to go.
20 minutes.
So,
yeah.
KCal refueled. They left and came back. So that's who we see on the smaller screen. So once ABC 7 has to leave, we'll switch full screen to KCal Channel 9. Which KCal, they like to claim the videos, which is it's just kind of like whatever. I guess you got to charge it to the game. They won't cut off the stream or anything, but sometimes I notice they just claim the videos monetization, which is it's all right. Not super chats, but just like ads or whatever. But you really don't get that much off of ads really on streams anyway.
Yeah, we're going to try and get to the other side, and then we can get a better look at the two tires. The right front that's down to the rim, and then the other one you can see is about ready to lose the tire completely in the rear as well. Ooh. And then it's really, 27 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour is fast when you're down to just rims, and you can't control the vehicle.
Pure rim right now. That's why I kind of like to see a little bit of this angle, because we can actually see these tires. Really? Oh, man.
You can tell right down to the rim. We had some smoke coming out a moment ago. At the higher speed, you start to see sparking. Sometimes you'll see a fire start. You start to see that rim will just unravel. And like I mentioned earlier, when the rim does get down to the right down to the axle, it's over. You're not going anywhere. But it certainly has taken a long time. And we've got patrol cars, for the most part, still right behind him. It's right in front of the high school here on Valley Circle headed northbound. But a pretty high rate of speed considering you're just on a rim there.
Ooh.
Oh, the brakes.
Wait, he hit the brakes? Can he even stop? Oh,
yep.
Barely.
When he hits the brakes, one of these times, that rim is going to snap, and then it's over, okay? Because there's so much pressure on that rim. You could see it when he hits the brakes. And, officers right behind him, they realize he's having a hard time maneuvering. He's got you see how the rim is turned there. He's trying to maneuver the vehicle, having a very hard time. And they're just hoping this individual gets out of the vehicle and they can get this over without incident. It's gone on long enough. Nobody's got hurt. Let's just get this individual into custody. The vehicle's having a really hard time accelerating. Once it gets up to 27, 30 miles an hour, it's not too bad. But getting to that speed, you can tell, is very difficult, especially it's a rear-wheel drive vehicle. And once it's all the way down to the rim on the back tire, it's going to be very difficult for it to get going. And a couple more slams on the brakes like that, slamming on the brakes, and that rim could just collapse. It gets down to the axle, and the vehicle's not going anywhere.
Lord almighty. Are we getting to the end of this? The nitty gritty? I don't think so. Uh-oh. Oh, what happened? They cut it off? Okay. I don't know what happened over there. Let's go full screen. I stepped away for 1 second. Oh, they're back.
It certainly is. I mean, it could go, it could go on for another hour. One time I followed a pursuit of a...
Okay, they're having issues. So let's just watch this one now. They got something.
A Land Rover that went down to the rim on the 101 North, all the way up into Ventura. And I believe it drove like 100 miles on the rims. So if you don't drive too fast, you can go for a long time, but slamming on the brake.
Yeah. They're cutting out. All right. Let me put on the other audio. Switch it up.
Faster than 50 miles per hour this morning. He has been taking surface streets. And of course is, it has been the morning rush hour. We've been following this now for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We know the pursuit happened before that. And if people are just joining us right now, this is a Los Angeles Police Department chase. Started in Chatsworth, where apparently the suspect stole the vehicle, was involved in a hit and run. We then witnessed a second hit and run live on our air about 30 minutes into the pursuit, where he was trying to get around. He was very agitated at the beginning of this pursuit, went through Chatsworth, Northridge, Canoga Park, went through Tarzana, Woodland Hills, continues to go north. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen that moment that we witnessed the second hit and run, where he bumps the back bumper, he tears off the bumper, spins that car around.
Imagine being that driver.
Oh, I can't.
On your way to work. And then this other car that it was nearly hit or may have been hit by the blue car, then pursued the driver, the suspect, and engaged with him, started yelling at him across the window. And that's a dangerous situation too. Of course, police don't want to see that, just like they don't want to see the person following, taking video. Anyone who's interfering or pursuing pursuit suspect, there's a reason the police are hanging back. And that they're employing that type of a tactic as opposed to just rushing him. So of course, Scott, you don't want to see people on the roads doing exactly that.
No, again, just stay away from the pursuit. That's about the best advice I could give you.
Seems like obvious advice, but people definitely not heeding that advice.
Stop him?
No.
What did they do? Try spiking?
And I shouldn't say but yeah.
Scott, I want you to look at, if you can turn your attention to the screen, SkyCal was just over an LAPD officer who had the right side passenger door open. Seems to be getting close. Is there some tactic they may be trying to use from the passenger side of the car?
He may be, if he comes to an at-rest position, that passenger officer, and I'm not sure, but if he came to a stop position, you run out, you run up, you throw the spike strip underneath the back tires, either of the vehicle or the cement mixer or the cement applier, whatever it is in the back. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay. But what's going through their heads as someone who's been in these situations before? I mean, we don't know if he's armed. We don't know how unstable he is. He could put it in reverse. He could hit someone else. I mean, it's such a precarious situation for these officers involved.
Well, law enforcement is it's a dangerous business.
Oh,
and
check this out.
You have to hazard yourself for the benefit of those that cannot protect themselves, and that's just the nature.
The rear one is coming undone as well, like worse. Because this camera, they're still up Sky 7 or ABC 7. The other one's completely wearing out as well. Oh, that wasn't live.
There was one accident involved. We don't think anyone was hurt. And coming to a stop will be interesting because once the vehicle stops, especially if it hits the brakes, you see so much pressure on the front rim, the right front rim that's lost the tire there. And then getting going is going to be difficult. To accelerate is going to be nearly impossible when the back is down to the rim. So a lot of factors going on here. Go ahead.
I'm surprised they're still up, though, because I thought they have to leave. They're both live, but when I switch, okay, now they're leaving. We gotta stick to this one.
Device on its side, that is a possibility.
Well, props to this company because they have remarkably strong equipment and vehicles there that they use that's now been stolen. And I'm sure investigators are talking to that business, asking for footage of the business. We don't know if this was at the actual business, which is based in the Valley, or if maybe it was doing work somewhere else or parked somewhere else. We don't know how this vehicle was stolen in the first place. Was it just something violent? Was the driver there at the time? Or was this just a crime of opportunity? It could have been keys in the car. There's so many different scenarios to play out and try to figure out, but those could provide some sort of clues as to his state of mind, maybe where he's going or who he is, right?
I have an idea.
No, absolutely. Look, this is such an unpredictable individual, and I'm beginning to wonder if a car even needs tires anymore. At this point in time. I mean,
oh, I knew it. I have another feed. I got another feed. Okay.
Like an ever-ready battery, and hopefully the back tires on that mixer will start to deflate because that's certainly going to cause additional drag on it and lessen his maneuverability.
Yeah, and we're focusing on the officers who are pursuing this suspect, but what is going on behind the scenes in terms of the investigation? There are people working the phones right now. There are people visiting that business, no doubt, calling people, trying to figure out who he is. I mean, potentially they know who he is.
It looks like they have different delays. This is Fox, though.
I have to put it under my headset, and they just keep hanging up on me.
I think people
I hear them,
more.
and then it goes dead. But they're all right. I'll try again.
What's wrong, Stu?
And I'm also waiting to go live on the internet. Let me know if. Try it again.
I don't know which one's the better one to watch or which one's the most live.
Hey, what's happening? Are we already live or?
Ooh. Oh, okay. I thought they was.
We are live or we're not? I'm sorry. I actually have a cell phone underneath my headsets. That's how I'm talking to you.
You're live, baby.
I'm sorry. It's the best it's gonna get. It's the best it's gonna get. I'm sorry.
Yo, so if you guys are watching, if you can hit the like button, I'd appreciate that, man. Subscribe, turn on all notifications. We're at 6,000 right now combined. I don't know. Let me see. How many we got on YouTube? We got 5,800.
Yeah, anytime.
What do we got on Facebook? I guess around 200 or something.
And what's the show? What's the show? What's the show? It's live now?
We're live, baby. Somebody need to tell them.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Facebook, we got 460. Okay, Facebook, I see you. Hey. Stu was on Fox 11, Los Angeles.
Yes, I can. And I'm so glad to be on live now. You have no idea.
People love Stu.
It is a pursuit, and you know what? As soon as you come to us,
maybe I should put both feeds on the screen so we can kind of have an eye on both. Let me do that. Even if I have to make the other one a little bit smaller. We'll keep Stu on full screen, I guess. I think he's trying to get himself situated. But let me see.
yes, I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me. No, that's what we've been having this issue a little.
See, because like Cal is showing him paused. Like he stopped.
You know, it's not really a very fast-moving pursuit, but it's a very.
He's talking very low too.
And it's been going on for quite some time. The owner of that vehicle was actually getting gas about 2 hours ago, and somewhere at the gas station, that person behind the wheel now just stole the vehicle. It was a crime of opportunity, as we understand it. Now he's made his way through the valley for much of the.
And they're both live, so I'm not sure which one's the better.
And you know, I understand
lot of this stuff isn't local viewers. So when I say the Valley, I'm talking about San Fernando Valley out here in the California area.
I think he said his mic is messed up. Is that what he said? Or something with his mic?
Where somebody actually tried to block that vehicle in was a little blue, I guess like a Honda or something, and that truck just pushed that thing out of the way like it was nothing, creating a lot of damage. And then, of course, a lot of folks that were nearby started to try to run that person down.
He stopped at an intersection, so what's happening?
Over to that truck,
he's
just yelling out the windows, you know, telling him to stop or whatever. That driver has no intentions of stopping and hasn't. So how does LAPD handle something like this?
2 intersections. I haven't seen it on KCAL yet.
Actually, I feel for them. Because how do you bring that thing to a stop? You can't do a pit maneuver. You can't get in front of it.
Cops right behind him on KCAL. Oh, there you go. They're right there. I just haven't seen the intersection part, though.
Wound up using spike strips. And those spike strips have been pretty effective. Now, that truck, on just the truck itself, not the trailer, has 6 tires. You've got 4 in the rear and 2 in the front. Now, the passenger side, driver front, completely gone. And I can venture to say, from what we just saw,
oh, so Sky Fox is very delayed. They're just now seeing this pull up, and then he moves off, right?
Just on the rims, it might have a little bit of trouble actually going, and that will create an opportunity for officers maybe.
I think it's Fox that's delayed. What do you guys think of the chat? If there's a huge delay on Fox, I'm thinking we might need to maximize SkyCal.
Like this, but you know what that truck can do is very scary, meaning if he slides into somebody, a pedestrian, it could be tragic. And of course, and somebody just driving, it could be the same way.
Yeah.
Right now, the pursuit just continues.
To me, it looks like SkyCal is actually more up to date, I think.
And what they're doing is just kind of slowing the traffic.
Or is it Fox? I don't even know anymore. Oh, no. Fox is up to date more, actually, because he just passed that by that bicycle, right?
This morning, I'm actually running the camera with one hand.
KCAL's behind. Okay, you guys got it. Okay.
About that. But it basically is creating
all right.
A lot of traffic problems. But, you know,
I'm going to try to bump up Stu's volume, but just be aware that me bumping it up is going to make his background noise sound way louder. So if it's too much, just tell me.
Hopefully that driver just decides to give up.
Let me try to bump him up. It's gonna all the helicopter sound is going to sound crazy. It's already pretty max, but I'm going to add a little more. If it's too much, you guys tell me. Okay, so Fox is actually ahead. SkyCal's delayed. All right. Maybe I'll make it even smaller than since it's so delayed. Yeah, maybe I'll make it. I don't know. Maybe I don't even need them on the screen, actually.
If it was nighttime, we might be seeing some sparks coming out of that front rim. But because it's daytime, maybe not so much. If the tires come off completely, and this is where it gets kind of weird, it's one of those ones, if the tires come off completely, depending on which side the drive wheel is on, we might start seeing those shower sparks even in the daytime. That pumper, that is a very heavy piece of equipment. That has one tire is flat
Dilemmas.
on the passenger side.
That's the problem. Fox has a bad camera.
Why aren't you on the passenger
I mean, the
side?
quality's not as good.
Flip-flopping with the helicopter, not that easy. And we always try to stay on the side with the driver, just in case this thing comes to an end. The driver's the one that we're going to want to keep an eye on. See, that's one of the reasons why we're on this side. LAPD, they're trying to bring this thing to an end. That driver, it's been going on for about 2 hours. If that thing has a full tank of gas, which it may have,
I could do a poll. I know you guys are going to vote 50-50, but I could do a poll.
This could be going on for hours. But LAPD, their task is trying to bring this thing to an end. And what they're doing right now is trying to keep the public safe. If the speeds pick up like this is where I always get worried, because that thing's not going to be able to stop as easy because it's missing all the tires on the passenger side right now, basically running on the rims. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can hear me at all, but I lost you there for just a moment. You were talking about the types of pursuits and things, and LAPD is not going to just let this one go, if that was the question. They were in tracking mode earlier on, basically where they just kind of said, we're going to keep the helicopter over it, going to keep an eye on what's going on, and that's when things got really strange. That's when that truck actually rammed into one of the vehicles trying to stop it, and when I say a vehicle, I'm talking about a civilian vehicle, not law enforcement. And when that happened, that's when kind of things changed up a little bit. LAPD saw that this person is a menace, and it doesn't seem to care about property. That officer, his door is open, not because the air conditioning isn't working. It's open because he wants to be able to deploy if that suspect decides to get out and run. But we haven't seen that. That driver basically kind of keeping himself inside that car there. I don't know where you guys are located at exactly, but temperatures are hot out here today. And we were even venturing to say maybe the reason why he's...
Copy all.
He fixed it. Oh, no. He did it.
But we were making jokes that maybe he's just
but it fixed his audio.
Cool in there. But, the reality is those police cars have got air conditioning as well. And when they take them to the police station, I'm sure there's going to be AC there as well, too. So that's probably not the reason why. But he just continues to drive around out here, just kind of meandering and visiting the same areas. We're back on the street where we were about an hour and a half ago.
So there's almost like a 30-second delay or something. That's what I think. Maybe more.
And this truck continues to drive.
Copy all. Copy all. Copy all.
We need Stu over here. I think he's talking somewhere else. I don't know where he's talking, but let me try the website again because this is the YouTube page. Oh, police chase. Let's try that. We hear him better here. They have a different... I think the website actually looks better, actually. Let me see. No.
Yes, sure. Hey, what happened with digital? Did we ever... Yes, sure. Hey, oh, we are on digital. Gosh, guys, you guys are just seeing picture and no audio. I want to talk to you guys, let you know what's going on out here. Well, that's that pursuit that's been going on through the valley for about 2 hours, maybe more. And you can see that the spike strips have been effective. He's lost 3 of the 6 wheels that are actually tires. The wheels are still there. The tires that were on that truck. In the back there, you've got a dually, so you got 2 tires in the rear, 1 tire up in the front, all completely gone right now, and this truck continues to drive. But he also lost 1 of the tires, or maybe not. Look at that right there. That one's really starting to go low.
Wow.
That's going to start heating up. We're going to start seeing that coming apart as well. Now, this is all happening out here in the valley where, you probably got the banner up there as well. Don't need to call out the streets, but I can tell you, what does LAPD do? I'm sure a lot of you folks, especially on the internet, you all have got ideas, and they're like, well, they should do this, and why aren't they doing that? You know what? What can you do? That truck, we saw it earlier on, basically just pushed that little Honda around like it was nothing, spun it around actually as it pushed it out of the way, pushed it into another vehicle. That driver actually made their way over to that truck later on, or the suspect behind the wheel, but then there wasn't really much you could do. You cannot bring that thing to a stop. You can't do the pit maneuver, but so what they've been doing? Well, they've been using those spike strips. And is it working?
That's what happened earlier.
You're going to say, well, it's not working, it's still driving. Well, you know what? It is right now. But if they continue to do it, maybe get the other tires in the rear, I'm sure a lot of the folks out there, they all know how these cars drive, these trucks drive. And if they have no drive or there's no traction, that truck's really going to start having a problem moving. Do I want to see this turn into a standoff?
Yes.
I do not. Those are one of the most boring, lame things that we ever see. Where the cops can, basically surround it. That guy sits in there until the AC stops working and then, hangs out for gosh knows how long before they actually go in and try to get that guy out. So anyways, but right now what we want to see is this thing come to an end peacefully. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. And when those tires start coming off, that truck is going to become extremely harder to drive and very much less maneuverable. So those are the issues that we got to deal with while we're watching this. Of course, the driver is not the owner of this vehicle. This is a stolen vehicle. That is a very expensive piece of equipment. I had this talk with somebody else earlier on, basically saying, Stu, who cares how much it costs? Well, I'm sure the owner cares.
Pup Scam. I guess he woke up. It says Pup Skin KTL is back on the way too, so we'll have another backup feed as well.
Go to work later on.
Going overtime.
Or during the week. And that, I care. I do. I'm not just playing. I care. So right now, we're going to keep an eye on it. See how they're going to try to bring this to an end. Right now, they're going to need some tires to get that truck back on the road, back to work. But that pumper, that thing weighs a ton. I don't know if any of you folks are out there do any kind of concrete work, but that's what that is. That's a concrete pumper. Those hoses right there, they attach to that thing, and they pour concrete into that bin, and it pumps it out to areas where they cannot just pour at. And this is a very common thing. This is how they build buildings, parking lots, parking garages, pools, things like that. So it is an expensive piece of equipment. That thing is basically on the back is a giant diesel engine on wheels. And you can tell just by how this thing is hooked up, it weighs a ton, maybe more. And as far as what this truck is, that's a Ford 550. So I'm not really super up on that stuff. And you people could say, why don't you Google it? Well, I'm running a camera and talking.
Yeah. I do all that shit at the same time.
Be the ones that go ahead
and Google
it for me.
Ford
and
550.
Know, but it is a 550. I'm venturing to say that's probably a full.
That's like a dump truck.
2-ton truck. So that is a lot of vehicle right there, and it is hauling a lot of weight. Again, we're still making our way into the valley area. It started.
I was here about 150, 250. Where did they go? 2, 3. They got 350. Well, he said this shit a 450, 550. Damn.
In the Winnetka area, and we've been kind of hanging out over here a lot. So, at any rate, just letting you know what's going on, keeping you guys informed. I wish I could read along, get some ideas on what you guys got going on there. Somebody said something about low levels. I'm not sure if that was for the Fox Live Now, but which is also a great program if you want to tune into that. But right now we're going to stay with this, and we're keeping an eye on it. Dylan, my pilot today, might be getting a little bored.
What?
Because we've just kind of been slow moving. He's keeping an eye on the other aircraft that are up here and keeping us all safe. As far as on the ground down there, who's keeping the public safe? What about the children? Well, there you go. LAPD is there on scene. They do have a helicopter above it. I venture to say they probably have swapped that out as well because this has been going for more than 2 hours. It's Police 10, so they have actually swapped it out. A helicopter's got about 2 hours of fuel. And so this has been going for more than 2 hours, and you can see what's going on right there. That driver agitated behind the wheel.
Let's see. Tralala says F-Series goes up to the F750. Damn.
Watched him earlier on eating somebody's lunch. I've ventured to say we didn't steal a car and brought a lunch, so he probably is eating somebody's lunch earlier on, whatever was inside that vehicle, drinking some of those power drinks. And right now, just keeping law enforcement at bay, keeping those silver bracelets off of him right now. But I venture to say that he'll be wearing them soon enough. And I do hope, honestly, that this does not end in any kind of way where that truck is totaled, somebody's life is lost or ruined in any way, shape, or form. And I do care about that suspect as well as LAPD. We do care. They do care about their suspects. And believe it or not, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. Even law enforcement when they're dealing with criminals. Right now, though, this pursuit continuing on, super slow, 13 miles an hour.
Slow and steady.
Maybe I should dial it back from hockey and do a little bit of golf because of the slow moving. But I got to tell you, when I watch these things, it could change in a second, and we're going to be here when it does. Hopefully that change is actually going to be that thing coming to a stop, that guy getting out and just walking over to officers and being taken into custody.
Oh, let me move this out of the way here. Ooh, what a morning, bro. I never. Almost 3 hours.
I'm kind of just trying to find out if I could find my YouTube notification.
Bro, we're struggling with those notifications. See if I can follow
you guys.
That shit ain't working, bro. That shit been working for years.
Interwebs, as it would be, but I cannot because I do not have a. I do not have a link. So let me see if I can find that so I can follow along. Somebody sent me a screenshot of the link, which is nice, but not helpful. Anyways,
bro, people be sending me screenshots all the time and stuff, and I'm like, can I have the link, please?
At any rate, we're going to keep an eye on this. I'd love to read along, see what you guys' questions are. I definitely want to get interactive with you. If you have anything legit or cool to say, I want to know, but I can only do what I can do. Let me see. I'm pretty talented up here. I'm going to run the camera, get onto YouTube, see if I can find Fox 11, and also, oh, here we go. Let me see. Maybe this is it.
They're watching you, bro.
Oh, we have an ad.
Oh, amazing, right?
Interesting.
Amazing. We actually got an ad.
Yeah, I don't know. We want to skip those ads. There we go.
Oh, hell no, Stu. Don't say that shit out loud. Bro, skipping on his own channel. Hell no. Skipping your own shit. I ain't got time for this.
I don't think this is it.
So what is...
Oh, it is. Well, there we go.
What is Stu doing? He's controlling the camera, and what else? He's not flying the helicopter, right? He's not flying the helicopter, controlling the camera and texting, right? He's controlling the camera and talking on the radio, I think. That'd be some wild shit. Imagine that, like flying the shit, controlling the camera, and like texting and shit, just like. No, they usually have a pilot, and then I think he's like communicating and controlling the camera.
I'm trying to get on here so I can watch. I can read some of the comments, but it's not letting me read the comments, which is very upsetting.
YouTube.
I wonder if I can comment. Oh well. Sorry, guys. I made an effort. I'm going to try again later on, but it's continuing on out here. You can see that pursuit pretty slow moving as it has been for most of the time. LAPD, they've thrown those spike strips out more than once. They've got 3 of the 6 tires flat. Are they going to be able to get the other 3 flat on the truck, or at least the dually in the rear? Maybe, maybe not. Man. We haven't seen any efforts pretty much since the last spike strip attempt. And right now you can see that vehicle just kind of moving along. I thought they actually had one of the tires on the pumper itself, also on the passenger side, that front one on the passenger side there going flat as well. But it has not come apart. I can tell you that he has 3 tires of his 6 still operational. Somebody might be saying, "Man, I only got 4." No, you got 2 in the back,
Gypsy girl,
and 1 in the front.
Gypsy girl.
The driver's side is the only side right there that still actually have tires on those wheels. On the other side, he's running on those rims. Those rims also pretty expensive. Hopefully that company's going to be able to get that stuff replaced.
We got somebody that's out there too.
Folks will help him out. But as it stands right now, this truck just continues to elude officers. The person behind the wheel not supposed to be there. I venture to say was a crime of opportunity, as we understand
Let's
it.
see.
He was
she saw the truck.
Gas, somewhere in the valley this morning, and
that boy tweaking.
After that tank was full, that gentleman that you see right there behind the wheel jumped in and took off, and it has been ongoing ever since. He seems to have a lot of interaction with a lot of folks out here, meaning folks being the people on the roadway. I was really kind of curious what was going on, because a lot of times...
There it is, there it is.
Of course, people know what's going on.
Gypsy called it...
Like you, watching right now.
Gypsy caught it in real time. She was out there, and she recorded it. She was chilling in Cali. Oh. Hell nah. Wow.
Interaction, don't know what that interaction
Thank you for the
is,
video.
but he hasn't gotten out of the vehicle. Nobody's gotten in, which is also a huge plus. And the pursuit just continues to move along out here in the Canoga Park area. LAPD, they're tasked with trying to bring this to an end. Some folks might be saying, well, just put the cop car in front of it and block it in.
Some people said that.
This thing, you cannot just block it in. It will push through those law enforcement vehicles like nobody's business. And they don't want to see that. And it's not because they can't afford to fix their cars. They just don't want to be in a position where they are putting that suspect in a position where
thank you,
he could
Merv.
hurt himself, or the outcome could be unfavorable for the driver of that stolen vehicle. That's the reason why they don't do anything like that. Also, right now, you can see that this truck's still moving. I've never seen this thing go over 40 miles an hour. I know it can. The driver deciding not to push it that far, that's a huge plus. But right now, what can we do to bring it to an end? I wish I could read your comments because I'd love to know what you're coming up with. Because I'm out. I got nothing. We're just kind of watching it. There's the LAPD helicopter above it, law enforcement down there all around it. And how to bring this thing to an end? Well, that's for other folks to figure out.
The only thing that I had heard them mention earlier is something about calling SWAT. So people were saying maybe they'll get the bear. That's maybe the only thing that they can just pull up in front of that shit and stop it, surround it or something. This thing is running on rims on one of the sides. I think both the passenger side, the front and the rear, I thought it was out.
If that is the case,
he's stopping.
This is going to get very interesting very quickly. I can't wait to see how that plays out. But right now, it's just kind of watch and see, and we're going to keep an eye on it. And
Regilio in the chat said, "Spike the trailer." That actually be kind of interesting. I wonder if that shit would stop the truck. I don't know, or make it really hard to control. Okay, so now he's stopped. Oh boy. Is they call it, or is it gonna take off? Make myself smaller. Uh-oh. I hope this guy don't hurt himself or something, you know? There was one time we were watching a live stream.
If you want to move it around, I mean, honestly, you can do orbits around this thing if you want. I mean, I know there's but I'm just saying, I don't want you to get bored either, you know?
Remember that chase where the guy jumped out? The guy jumped out. While the car's moving, he opens his door, he jumps out. I think he died. I think I had to delete that. I think I deleted the stream to be safe.
I don't know.
I don't know if he died or not. I thought he died. I'm not sure. I think he did die.
You know those things go freeway speed, so they probably didn't know it was going to go this long. Nobody knew it was going to go this long.
Cops pulling up, surrounding him. I wonder why he completely stopped. Can it know? I mean, is that out of gas?
Yeah.
Just too hard to control. The tints, I guess, are like. I thought you could clearly see through them before. You can't really see through them now. I guess he had the windows down. That's why.
I wonder what happened. It's kind of odd that he just stopped. I hope this thing doesn't turn into a standoff.
Bruh. Oh, he's doing something in there.
You got to bust the window first. No. He's got
the
window up.
He's going ham inside. I wonder if he's out of gas.
They do. They got BB guns and
pellet guns
to break the window, but with that tint, yeah, he's he's very agitated. I don't know what he was like, moving stuff around. Maybe it was his hoodie. Yeah, he took his hoodie off. He's wiping his face on his shirt. And now he's looking around the cab.
That's not a bad idea either. Yudi says they should shoot out
wiping his eyes.
Trailer's tires.
Somebody's watching and saying, "Yes, Stu, we can see that too." No, I'm telling Dylan, my pilot, because I guess law enforcement is asking. And my hashtag was Sky Snitch, so got to live up to my name.
I like that.
Next time you have concrete needs and you need a concrete pumper, call Atomic.
Hey man, that boy. That vehicle really put in some money.
I was going to say. They're in the valley, and they've got some good equipment. Reliable. Yep. And I venture to say whoever was driving this and left the keys in it and left that thing running, never going to do that again.
Gas station.
He keeps messing with his hoodie. Let's see what the officers are doing.
I wonder if they're going to wait on SWAT. Maybe they get that bear in front of the vehicle.
You know, Stu, you've got this thing called a police scanner. What?
What, did somebody tell him that? As if he doesn't know? I hope the guy doesn't hurt himself.
1 minute. Copy all. That you hear me puffing you, right? I'm puffing you. Whatever.
Damn.
Kevin, what else have they got going on Topanga? What are they talking about? Call back the PR and make sure he still has eyes on the animal. What animal would they have eyes on?
Oh.
I know they're not talking about this. No, it's not some sort of weird copy.
Ooh, what else is going on? Something escape? Something get out of the zoo or something, or a cage? I hope too this isn't like some crazy long standoff. Like I actually hope they do something. I don't know, come up with a plan, get some riot shields. I don't know. Press up on them.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if the spike strips worked or what changed there, but that driver bringing this thing to a stop out here in the Canoga Park area. We're actually at Canoga and Chase. Now, the officers, they've got their guns out. That door hasn't opened up, and they has shown no sign of him getting out of that vehicle. Is there a possibility that that truck can still drive and he can just drive off? There's always that chance. So right now, LAPD working to find a way to block this person in safely, but it is a standoff on Canoga and Chase. I'm Stu up in Skyfox. Back to you guys in the studio.
Oh. It's interesting how they do this because they got to keep running their TV show, but they also have a separate channel for the live. So while they're, I guess, doing the regular broadcast for TV, they're also tuning in and out of this Chase, and so maybe they tell him like, okay,
oh, no problem.
Cutting out, cutting in. He has to give that little returning to you. SWAT? I don't know. That bear thing takes a while to get to places usually.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on where it's at, I guess.
I'm like a reporting machine. You say talk, I talk. You say stop, I stop. You know I say all this with love. I really do. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being mean.
Cancel. They plan.
Oh, they're coming up with the plan.
Yeah.
These guys are coming up with the plan. Up.
Some pepper guns, some smoke grenades, or the tear gas. I mean, get the tear gas thing.
Okay.
Bring the canines too, in case shit gets wild and stuff.
Cards.
What do you got? A super soaker?
Okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Paintball gun. That should look like a toy. The defunded materials now they got to use and shit. BB guns. Stu's last name? I don't know. I think it's Mendel. Mendel, I think.
Not returner for the longest time. And in a previous relationship, I was schooled on how terrible of a person I am that I was not returning it. Oh, here we go. Doors open. That doesn't mean it's over. Hands are out.
Hands up.
And he's out.
Okay. Flexing.
A little stretch.
Flexing.
Okay. They always have the cool shoes.
My boy flexing. I don't think he's supposed to be moving like that, but he's moving though. Maybe they told him to back up. Maybe they did tell him to back up. I don't know. The ball feeling loose, froggy. All right.
Right behind the pole.
Amazing.
And they have that suspect getting out on his own accord right there, just for no reason. So I wonder if the truck just finally gave up. And that was the decision-making process. But he spent some time there in the cab thinking about it for a couple of minutes, and then the door popped open. You can see it right there. He's on the ground. LAPD officers, they are ready to take him into custody, but they are going to play it very, very safe. They just don't know for a fact if this person is armed or not armed, so they're going to follow their procedures. Right now, though, you can see these officers kind of getting ready to make their move, and then they also have to check that truck. They just don't know. We assume it is just the driver in there, but we pretty much know it is just the driver, but they don't. So right now, that suspect not complying. I would venture to say that asphalt is pretty hot. Maybe one of the reasons why he's not just kind of laying there. Now he's getting up, but he's got his hands out. You just don't want to see anything unfortunate happen, especially with any kind of quick moves from that suspect that's kept these officers at bay for so long. But right now, the waiting game is almost over, and you can see the officers making that approach. I have a feeling that he is going to give up quite easily. Those cuffs are going to go on, and this coming to an end after probably more than 2 hours of chasing that truck through the valley out here this morning. But again, peacefully, no injuries as we understand it to anybody involved, thank goodness, and that suspect getting into custody, and hopefully that company going to get their truck back and those repairs done very quickly.
There's this rapper that's in prison right now or something. They caught some guy sitting on his lap, and they leaked out the video. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yes.
Let's see where this is at. I'm just live. Damn, they exposed
I wanted to talk about shopping carts.
Well, there we go. I'll show you guys in a second. Chicago rapper Lil J. It was anticlimactic, huh?
I am a Starbucks Reward member.
Climatic ending, but I'm happy nobody got hurt. I didn't think he was just going to get out and comply like that. I thought he was going to take off running. I thought it was going to be like a wild chase. He was just.
I spent so much money there. I don't know what I got right now. I'm going to look. I had 3,000 stars the other day, and I was like, I should start spending some of these.
Y'all see what happened
27. With 2,700 stars. 2,764. Starbucks app, that I can get open in a heartbeat and do that no effort.
They got him. I'm going to show you in a second.
I heard that if you get 1 million stars, you can actually buy one of the Starbucks stores.
Oh, shit. Starbucks so expensive, though.
I don't ever want to get any of my Starbucks baristas in trouble because I'm friends with all of them. But they actually just gave me a cold brew maker the other day.
What?
It's probably about a month now. Yeah.
They gave him the whole machine? So it looks like check out the vehicle. Everything's getting cleared out. Wonder if there's any drug paraphernalia inside. I gotta talk about Lil Tay, man. How they gonna do Lil Tay like this,
No,
bro?
no breakfast. No breakfast.
How they gonna do Lil Tay like this? Well, it seems calm now. Maybe the drugs are wearing off? Let me show y'all Lil Tay real quick. I don't know what happened, bro. Lil Tay. I said this to Lil Tay, man. This said footage of leaks of Chicago rapper Lil Tay allowing another man to sit on his lap. Uh-oh. Wait, where's it at?
Well, if we still are on the internets.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, Lil Tay. Tay. What was funny to me about this?
Well, that's not that good.
Somebody said caught in 480.
I'd like to have more.
Oh, no, Lil Tay.
Anyways, we're just keeping an eye on what's going on out here. You saw it's coming to an end. That suspect just getting out, kind of doing his thing right there. Looks like he's familiar with the process, to say the least, as he's making his way over to the back of that police car, probably air-conditioned, I would venture to say. As far as the truck itself, I wonder if it ran out of fuel. I wonder if it just stopped running. But at any rate, hopefully it is going to be okay. Everybody's going to get their property back.
Tay.
That truck will be out working again soon.
That's foul as fuck that they leaked that tape or whatever on Lil Tay, man. Bruh. That's messed up.
Yeah. What is it, Wednesday? Isn't that meatloaf night? I mean, it's been a minute.
How are they gonna do that to Tay, man? That's messed up. I don't know who Lil Tay is, but in Chicago, oof, that's not a good thing. Lil Tay. Oh, I guess that's it, man. The chase is over. He's arrested. Kind of anticlimactic. I really thought he was gonna run, like just run for his life on some meth, just like hauling ass, jumping gates and stuff. They're gonna be running and stuff, but. All in all, I'm glad nobody got hurt. The other news station cut off. Let me take this off the screen. The news station cut off. Only Fox is up right now. It's not. I don't have it muted. He just stopped talking. But that's the end. Yo, so make sure you come join me today at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. Central, which is 12 p.m. Pacific, California time, right? There's a major press conference for Carly Russell, this woman that the story was that she was kidnapped. Video came out, but now people are thinking otherwise. It's super sus. A lot of different things going on. So I'll see you. Shit, it feels like in 5 minutes. I gotta go take a shower. I'm gonna eat a little breakfast. I haven't even showered. I just woke up and jumped on this. Oh, his name is Jay? His name is Lil J. Oh, my bad. Oops, I'm disrespecting the gang. His name is Lil J. Oh, okay. So a gang member messaged me. I'm just kidding, not a gang member, but they're saying his name is Lil J. Lil J. No, Luffy. It's Lil J. My bad. So I'm here for it later. Oh, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go for a little run. I got to get a little sweat, little sun. I'm going to go for a little run, take a little shower. I'm going to go get the shot. I might get 2 shots. I'm going to go get the shot for the press conference. And if this turns out to be fake, I'm just going to do it right to the head. I'm just going to be like, I'm done. Done. But thank you guys so much, man, for joining me. I'll see you in a little bit, yo. I really appreciate all the love and support. Love you guys. Thank you to Sonia that hit me up this morning, and Kona's mom. Love you guys. This stream is going to transfer you to the other stream, so if you haven't set a reminder, make sure you set a reminder. Lilac says I sent you an email about Carly. Okay, in a little bit after I do my run, take a shower. And a little bit, I'm going to sit down and check all the updates and things that people are sending me. So I'm prepared because we're going to start 30 minutes early before the press conference so we can hang out, talk, chill. We'll go over details and stuff. All right. So we'll hang out and chill for a bit before. So some people saying they're getting their popcorn ready. Some people saying they get their cheeses ready. Everybody is going to be tuning in to this crazy situation. All right. So I'm here for it. The first thing I woke up this morning, I was like, Carly. I was thinking about the Carly thing, the press conference. I'm glad I slept great. I spoke with Rabbit this morning. We were talking about that. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye. Adios. Bloop, 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 bloop. Mercedes, thank you for the super chat. Lilac, thank you for the super chat. Lita Live, thank you for the 13 months member. Says going strong. Love you all. Mel and Mods, thank you. Gypsy, thank you for the super chat. Says it was Gypsy Girl, not the BMW. LO, I'm in Illinois. So yeah, did I say Gypsy Girl? I thought I said Gypsy Girl, but I was thinking you, but that's a different person. Rise Buff, thank you for the membership. Doves Cry. Dogs Cry. Thank you for the member, becoming a member. Says only thing we're missing is Whippets Mel. The Whippets Chase. Marsha Metcalf, thank you for the membership. Pam Zamaro, thank you for the membership. Thank you on Facebook for all the likes. Thank you, Twitch. Gypsy Girl, I got a video. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the video. Ruby Castanero. Hey, Mel, I super enjoy watching all your work and you're handsome. Oh, thank you. Ooh, thank you, Ruby. I said Rudy. Rudy's in my head, but Ruby, thank you, which makes it better. Thank you so much. Hockey Mama, thank you for the 11-month membership. Says Love You Millhouse. He's still going. I know, right? MP Pixie Boo Poo LM89 Jennifer Harris, thank you for all the memberships. Jennifer, thank you for the 4-month membership. Thank you for resubscribing. Says this is Def making up for the lack of chases. Yeah, there's been a complete lack of chases for real. Leslie, thank you for the 11 months. What time is the press conference? I just said that a couple times. Thank you for the 11 months and resubscribing. Gypsy Girl, thank you for the 7 months. Says he's coming back towards my house. And Fitzler, thank you for the super chat. I bet he's asking people for a lighter or cigarettes. He could be. Because sometimes when you tweak in, you need like cigarettes and stuff. Mario, thank you for the super chat. Says Rick James, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Nancy, thank you for the 16 months. Thank you for the live. Thank you for resubscribing. I got Incognito. I think I got Jessica. Jessica, thank you for the 7 months of resubbing. Love you, Emil. Have a good day, everyone. Glow, thank you for the membership. Floor, thank you for the membership. Yada, yada. And I'm caught up. BL says, Mel, check Discord DMs. Check Discord. Morella and Discord want Melvin. Do we send Maddie's plushie? Oh, I did see something. I forgot it. I'm sorry I didn't reply to you, Morella. I don't know if you're watching now. Did we send it? So if you sent it already, I have to go check it. I haven't gone to the PO box yet. I will go check it, and I will get back to you. I'll send you a DM and a picture. If you can DM me when you have a chance, DM me so I can have it already up there. Oh, there's a screenshot. Let me see. Yeah, that's the right address. Yeah, I just have to go pick it up. It was delivered. I can't see the date, but I will go pick it up. I don't want to say when. I don't think I can go today because I got to do something after the press conference. But very soon I'll go pick it up and I'll let you know. All right. So thank you very much. See you guys in a bit.